Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
First, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Yahweh, who the world inwardly calls God, Yahweh Shah, who the world inwardly calls Jesus. I want to give it up my honor to the apostles of Great Millstone, who has taught us this truth. I want to give it peace and blessings to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, who teach this truth and risk life to do so. It's GMS Arizona, out here another weekend and prophesy the downfall of America, man, and hopefully bid the elect to the marriage, because that's what we've been called to do, and Lord willing, we're those chosen men in that time, man. Give me Isaiah 14. What's up with that? Yeah, man. Because you got in this time, right? The closer we get to the end, the Lord is going to make it evident who He's dealing with and what people He's dealing with. Okay. Right now, you have heathen in league with each other, and they're running the earth. But it said that would happen in the curses, right? Scriptures say what? That we will come down very low, right? And they'll come down very high. And we should go to the one, we should go to them for the one of all things, man. Right? And that's why we're in the position that we're in. And that's why ultimately, right, they're gonna rule until a time, man, until their season is over. Right? But their season is beginning to be over, because now you got like-minded men on the highways and byways across the four corners of the earth teaching and preaching His word. Okay? Right. Give me a Baruch 2 and 30. Start at 30. Go ahead.
This is from the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1. And so it reads, for Yahweh, it says, for Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, right, and will yet choose Israel.
Yeah, the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, man. Okay? And in this time, right, He's going to have mercy on a remnant of Israel, because Scripture say what? The third shall pass to the fire, but 2/3 shall be destroyed therein. What fire is that talking about? It's talking about thermonuclear missiles, man. It's not talking about hell underneath the ground. Okay, go ahead.
It says, and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land.
Proving that we're not in the land right now, man. Yep. Okay, right now we're scattered abroad. We're scattered across the four corners of the earth, captive underneath these other nations, man. Okay, even here in America, right? We're captive here in America underneath these nations. Go ahead.
It says, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. It says, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids.
Yeah, so we're going to possess the heathen for servants and handmaids. Okay? And people will look at that like as if it's a bad thing, but it's not, because how you think the heathen were able to get so rich on this side?
Because they had slaves, man.
Because they had us in possession. Right? The only difference is that we're the apple of the Most High's eye, man. Okay? And Scripture said what? You help. Can brother get that for me? Help for the affliction. You did more, right, than what the hell you were supposed to do. When you go to Lazarus and a rich man, right, it talks about the dogs that lick the womb. The rich man is equivalent to the so-called white man. Okay? Lazarus will be the Israelites, right? But the womb that was open, that was caused by Esau, right? The other nations were the dogs that came and licked the womb. When you Google what happens when a dog licks the womb of an open cut, it becomes infected, right? It becomes, if you don't clean it, it becomes infected, man. Right? It makes it way worse than what it was actually was. But that goes to show you that y'all had a hand in hand in our captivity. Y'all had a hand in hand in our downfall. That's why in Psalms 83 it says they're confederate against them. Okay, go ahead.
It says, continuing on.
With that.
Zechariah 1 and 15, it says, and I'm very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease.
Yeah, aren't they? They are at ease. That's why we always say, what do they need to be saved from? Right? What do they need to run to? Right? They're captive. They're poverty in these third world countries, but it's still their country. You know? And motherfuckers like that choose to get up out from where they're at, they come over here, get loans, get the people to supply to, right? And then they take that shit back to where they from. Okay? Go ahead.
I'm very sore displeased with the heathen at their ease, for I was but a little displeased. They helped forth the affliction.
Yeah, they helped forth the affliction, man. Right? They lied to you. They told you were African Americans. They told you that you were Haitian. They told you that you were Jamaican, West Indian, right? They told you that you were Mexican. They told you that you were Native American. They told you everything that you wasn't, instead of telling you what you actually are. And the elites of the society know exactly who we are. They say it. Okay, when you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, they give you their whole plan, their whole breakdown of what it is. All right, go ahead. You got a precept? I got you. Is that it on that?
Yeah.
Got your precept?
2nd Ezra 4:37 says, by measure hath he measured the time, by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. It's like the brother was saying, right? Esau's kingdom is coming to an end. The Lord set it up, and he put a perfect measurement on how long this devil was going to rule and what it was going to look like when he started to lose that power, right? And so now we're coming to the time where the Lord measured his end, right? Remember the Lord said what? He set up his bounds that we cannot pass. We're at the end of those bounds, man. That's why everybody's talking shit. His strength in the earth is starting to weaken, right? And all the nations are coming against him.
Yeah. Right, what your precept?
You know, going back to you were saying a while ago, going into the heathen, that time is going to come where we're going to have you heathen. We're not going to have Israelites in the captivity in a state where they are slaves to us. This is Leviticus going into the proof. Leviticus chapter, this is Leviticus chapter 25 and 44 and 46. And it says, by thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen, which goes back into Psalms 80, Psalms chapter 1, what is that, and 8, 2 and 8, when it says, I shall give thee the inheritance, you know, going back into that.
For thine inheritance.
Khan. So it goes back over this, Leviticus 25 and 44. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. So that you know it's going to be y'all heathens that's going to go into captivity after all the things y'all did to the house of Israel. Matter of fact, going to 46, and it says, Leviticus 25 and 46, and ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you to inherit them for a possession. They shall be yours, bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule over one over another with rigor. So going back into it, that time is coming after all this fall that you heathens are going to pay for all the things that y'all have done. As the brother brought out earlier about you heathens.
Back in Isaiah 14, I'm going to run it from verse 2. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. It says, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Yeah, servants and handmaids, man. Like your brother was just going into bondmen and bondwomen, just like y'all possessed us for bondmen and bondwomen. It's only right. It's only right, man. Go ahead.
Is that the scripture that says, I think it says an eye for an eye? You know? Since y'all have put us into slavery, man, you know, it says in the book of Revelations, you know, it says he that leads into captivity shall go into captivity.
That's right.
But continuing on.
So Isaiah 41 and 22, it says, let them bring forth and show us what shall happen. No, that's not good. Go ahead.
It says, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Who was our oppressors? Right? These other nations were our oppressors, man. Okay? And that's how you know it's talking about the so-called black man, so-called Native American man, and so-called Latino man and woman. Is how you know that is because these other nations, or those Jewish people in the land right now, they're not being oppressed. They run it. You can't even talk about them, man. But you can go online and call a nigga all day. You can go online and talk about killing one another all day and get paid for it. But the moment you say something bad about them, it's anti-Semitism, it's anti-this, it's anti-that, and they take it off. But it goes to show you, if you want to know who has power, figure out who you can't talk about. And why can't you talk about them? Because the more you talk about them, the more you expose them. The more you expose them, the more they're sought out to be a fucking liar, right? The more they're sought out to be a liar, the more demonized they get. Because they truly demons. The ones in power don't want you to see their face, man. The ones in power don't want you to even know their name want you to even know they exist, man. Because they like to do things in secrecy, right behind closed doors. Have you seen what the fuck these people do behind closed doors? You'll wig out, man. Right? Right? This is all a coincidence that your children end up missing, right? But now this movie just came out, which I don't know if brother's seen it, but it's called The Sound of Freedom, right? It was actually made 5 years ago, but Disney bought it and put it on hold for 5 years because they didn't want to expose what the fuck was really going on. So all these missing children, you walk in your Walmart and you see all these faces on the wall and shit like that. Where you think they was at, man? They on a boat somewhere getting transferred. In these carts and shit.
That's part of the prophecies from the past, because the Lord said, "Make there to lay on the cover of God." Right? So all the wickedness that America's done in the earth, and now we're in a time where it's being shown to everybody. That's why all the nations are talking shit. What the fuck do you have to tell us? Look what you did to us.
Right.
That's what they'll do.
Right. Right. And not only that, shit, y'all had a hand in it too, though. Y'all had a hand in it too, man. See, it's only convenient. They only talk about it when it's happening to them, like the people in Maui, right? Right? Those heathen over there, they're complaining. All of a sudden, they're saying, "Oh, they're getting in airplanes." Like I said yesterday, they're getting in airplanes and they're shooting lasers out of airplanes, right? But we said it that they've been had this type of technology a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We were called conspiracy theorists.
Yep.
So when it happened to you, you're not conspiracy theorists. It's actually happening, right? But what happened to us? Now niggas don't even believe that slavery existed.
Yep. No slave ships.
Segregation wasn't even that long ago. Why you think you were segregated? Why do you think you're as dumb as you are, nigga?
And we said that, and this is Jake saying this. Jake saying that there wasn't even black slaves on the ships. That was all white slaves. This is Jake saying this type of thing.
See Jake, that's what it is. You know, Jake, well, you can't mix miseducation with pride, man. You can't mix it. Right? You can't mix it because then that's what the fuck you'll get.
Well, what it is they Esau put that bottle to their mouth.
And gift destroyeth the heart.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's either they're getting paid off or Esau put the bottle to their mouth. And now they're jumping with whatever Esau gave you, because that's what Esau does, man. He tries to make you drunk with lies, man. That's why when you go on the news, they'll repeat the same lie over and over again until you believe it. Many people are already saying the same thing. I ain't met nobody with the DVOC, right? Backwards, spell it forward, the whole pandemic and shit. Many people are saying they never met anybody with it, so then they put it on the news so much. Then they sat there and it was like, people were like, oh man, maybe this is real. That's what Esau does. So now he's done that even with the education system. Because Jake don't want to believe that what they're in, because understanding that what you're in is something that you can't get out of, and that these devils are completely engineered for you to never be able to raise up out of, that's too hard for a lot of Jakes.
Well, also too, when you go back, it's just why they created critical race theory when it's a fact. So it comes to the point where Jake is even being smoothed over, saying, well, it never happened, because the first thing that happens, well, where are the slave ships at? Where are the slave ships? Well, they're important ships. And of course, and Esau got some of them ships, and a lot of them were destroyed. But nevertheless, Jake's in these schools really believing what Esau is telling them, the lies that he's spewing unto them. Oh, it never happened to you.
Hey, the scriptures tell you they speak wickedly concerning oppression over time, and that's what they're doing, man. You got DeSantis sitting there saying they slavery benefited them because they learned skills.
That's
well,
insane.
You could have learned those same skills in your own career.
But they already knew
You could have been a blacksmith where you came from.
They already were blacks.
Salakia, real quick, slavery benefited the so-called black man, but at the same time, when you so-called released the so-called black man out of the yoke of iron, you gave them no jobs.
No jobs.
You set up the prison system, and when the so-called black man had no choice but to find a way to survive, and that was to resort into stealing, you locked them up for it.
They also made it illegal for you to be homeless.
Yeah.
Right. So if they caught you out there sleeping in the middle of a grass field somewhere, they put you in a jail, and then when you go to jail, you go into the chain gangs. Those were just fucking state-funded slave houses. That's what Esau did, man.
Well,
He's completely made every single plan to overthrow the Israelites. And now he's trying to act like he didn't do nothing.
They say you're free until you go to jail. Then that's when you're legally able to become a slave. And how do you niggas like jail? Right now, imagine how slavery was. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you think about it, wait a minute. Didn't Esau say it didn't happen and didn't exist? And the brothers just proved Esau's playing double dutch. Because one minute he tell you it didn't happen and it doesn't exist. Next minute he's showing you was slaves. Oh, you was happy when you say we taught you something when you were slaves. I think that was Santos that said that?
Yeah, Santos.
Santos that was saying that. So which one is it? We know the truth that we were slaves. The book of Deuteronomy even tells us that we would be slaves.
Right, so we know it because of the book of Deuteronomy. We know it because we ain't that far from it, but it's prophecy. Okay, it's prophecy and it happened to us, man. Regardless if you like it or not, it happened to us, man. Now we're not using that as an excuse to be low lifes in the society. Not because you got a lot of Jake getting to it, right? But nonetheless, it happened, man. But just because you get into it, don't forget that this so-called white man is your enemy. Don't forget that he's your enemy, man. Okay? Go ahead, let's finish that off.
This is Isaiah 14, and continuing on in verse 3, it says, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
Yeah, rest from thy sorrow. Right? Who's that talking about? Who's the lowest people on the totem pole as far as in the earth? Right? That's why we say salvation is for Israel. Right? It's evident. It's evident who the true biblical Israelites are. Go ahead.
It says, and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve.
And if you look in history, who was made to serve hard bondage? Right? They make movies about it. It's documentaries about it. It's TV shows about it. Right? It's movies based around it. It's news articles on it. There's so much shit on it that it's evident. But it's evident that it's prophecy. And this is what happened. But niggas don't want to understand why it happened. Right? Well, it happened because we went off. And today you niggas is still going off. Man, yesterday was a day of atonement for you to atone for your sins. And the majority of Jake want to keep in that. But when all hell gonna break loose, majority of Jake is gonna try to call on the Lord. Man, give me that in Proverbs. I shall laugh at your calamity. Proverbs, the first chapter. Go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse, let's see.
So like around the
20.
yeah.
Oh, you want to start at 22? How long with your simple ones?
Yeah, there you go.
This is Proverbs 1 and 20.
Oh, you start at 20.
20? This is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 20. Wisdom cried without.
Yeah.
She uttered her voice in the streets.
And that's where it's at. You want to come get it? That's where it's at, man. Right? That's where it's at, man. All right, but you don't have a crowd of people, right? But you'll have a crowd of people at Joel Osteen Church in Houston, right? They'll go to TD Jakes Church in Dallas, right? Why? Because you're not there for God, you're there for fame, right? You're there because you're idol worshiping. You're worshiping a fucking idol, right? Who seems to be famous by telling you lies, and you put your money into his pot, and he ball on your lies.
You'll even see mass multitudes of people at these concerts, man, which is apparent these rappers be doing witchcraft on the people while they're at the concert, man. Got demons walking around. You see thousands of people there.
You have rappers at these churches now.
Yep. She
Because ultimately it's a business. That's what it is.
Yep.
It's a business, man. These tax write-offs and all this shit, right? Some of these people get churches just to write out taxes. It makes them like the Kardashians, right? They have a church, right? They make some, but they charge $1,000 to go to their church, something around there. But they built that church off of tax write-offs, man. So they just pay themselves. Okay, that's what it is, man. It's not for the Most High. It's not because they truly believe in God. Because you don't want to see if somebody truly believe in the Lord. Wait till they get tested. If Joel Osteen went broke, and TD Jakes went broke, if all these other pastors went broke that's in these mega churches, will they still believe in God? Or will they resort to the devil?
Right. Well, the scriptures tell you, talk about there'll be some men that suppose godliness is gain.
It says stay far away from those.
So when so the gain goes away, does God exist for them anymore?
She Proverbs 1 and 21. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the opening of the gates in the city. She uttered her words, saying, "How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?"
Didn't all the prophets really have the same message, man?
Yep.
Right? How long? How long? Look at Jeremiah. It was to the point where he got mad with Israel, man. Start cursing Israel. Right? So we kind of at that point, like, yeah, you niggas just Yeah, you niggas is gonna run right into the enemy's hands, man. Because we can't. I got you. Because we can't fight you and fight them, but fight you trying to tell you that they the fucking enemy, and they're telling you that they're not. But they got a history of fucking you over. But they seek you on us as if we're the bad guys and we're telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was gonna make a point because I was actually reading some Jeremiah last night, and I just wanted to see how long he prophesied for. And from what I found, it said roughly about 40 plus years he was out there prophesying. So you can imagine being out there every day, 365 days, saying the same thing, but nobody's changing.
Look at Noah.
Yeah.
Yep.
120
Right,
years.
Look at Noah, man. Right, they was probably out there looking at him crazy and all that, and they looked at every genius crazy, man, so-called genius. But Noah was really he was a prophet, you know. But when he was building that boat, they was like, man, what is he doing? You couldn't imagine. They was what, marrying, eating, drinking, living it up. They had the American mindset until the flood came. Then the flood came. Then what? Everybody wanted to get right.
Mm-hmm.
All the procrastination stopped. Yeah, you crazy, stop. Nah, because back then it didn't rain, man. It didn't rain back then. The grass used to get
Dew.
water from the dew. Like you walk outside early in the morning and you see grass, it's like frosted, man. Because that's the dew from underneath. Okay? But when that first drop came, now you could just imagine the people, what the fuck am I tripping? It's raining coming from the heavens. Right?
Mm.
And then when it started raining and pouring and water was coming from everywhere, people wanted to all of a sudden get right. Right? But guess what happened? They died in that flood, man. Same thing in these times. All right? We out here. Ain't nobody out here. People see the videos, right? If they comment, it's usually for some bullshit. But in the times to come where it's evident that we were telling the truth, everybody the same people that was doing the bullshit gonna want to try to get right. Go ahead.
This is Luke chapter 17 and verse 28. I'm about to read the NLT. Kind of says, and the world will be as it was in the days of Lot. People went about their daily business, eating and drinking, buying and
Hey,
selling.
do you see a common denominator, man? Mm-hmm. America, right? Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Back then when Noah was prophesying, what was the people doing? Bullshit. Doing what the fuck they wanted to do. Living like as if they were already like it was their rest or something, man. Right? And indulging in wickedness and sin and committing sin. Right? And then what happened all of a sudden? Boom. It all got stripped from you, man. You know? Go ahead.
Kind of says, people went about their daily business, eating and drinking, buying and selling, farming and building, until the morning Lot left Sodom. Then fire and burning sulfur rained down from heaven
Man,
and
I watched the YouTube video on that last week, man. This dude had went over there, and he was over there in Sodom, and then Gomorrah is like 8 miles away, if I'm not mistaken. But he went to both places, and he was picking up sulfur balls and lighting up the sulfur balls, man. And how sulfur burns, it's like a liquid fire, man. It was the weirdest shit I've seen. Because what it does is it's a blue flame, and it drips off. It drips off, so you could just a dripping fire on your ass,
yeah.
right? Wasn't no escaping it, man.
And it's the most little bit of oxygen and moisture causes it to recombust. So as soon as that shit hit them, it just kept going because then your skin, it just starts absorbing the oils from the skin, and it's more chemical reaction.
Wow.
There was so many skeletons. There was a cemetery over there, right, where they had, but it was skeletons all throughout that shit, which is evidence of the Lord, man. Right? Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 18.
This is one more verse here.
Gotcha.
I'll start at 18. It says, then said they, come and let us devise devices against Jeremiah, for the law shall not perish from the priest, nor counsel from the wise, nor the word from the prophet. Come and let us smite him with the tongue, and let us not give heed to any of his words. It says, give heed to me, O Yahweh, and hearken to the voice of them that contend with me. Shall evil be recompensed for good? For they have digged a pit for my soul. Remember that I stood before thee to speak good for them, and to turn away thy wrath from them. Therefore deliver up their children to the famine, pour out their blood by the force of the sword. Let their wives be bereaved of their children, and be widows, and let their men be put to death. Let their young men be slain with the sword in battle. Let a cry be heard from their houses when thou shalt bring They troop suddenly upon them, for they dig a pit to take me and hid snares for my soul. And that's what the brother was saying, man. We came out here to actually speak good for you, right? We came out here like Moses was. What did it say? Moses stood between the Lord and the angels when the angels were coming to smite Israel. Well, what do you think we're doing? We're coming in that same state. We're trying to sit here and be like, hey, bro, you got to fix this shit up. The Lord is about to come. But within it, Jake, the average day American, right, came up against us every time. So now what? Is we're going to put out the same prayer that Jeremiah said. Hey, show these niggas no mercy.
Con, go ahead, finish that.
Khan, this is Luke chapter 17 and continuing on verse I'll start at verse 29 again. It says, until the morning Lot left Sodom, then fire and burning sulfur rained down from heaven and destroyed them all. Yes, it will be business as usual right up to the day when the Son of Man is revealed. You know, so basically, you know, everything is just, to these people, nothing is happening. There's no prophecies taking place on the earth. Any event that happens is not going to be a domino effect that takes place. Everything is just normal to these people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, hey, at the end of the day, they're going to get caught off guard because they're not paying attention. A day is going to come upon them as a snare, man. You see, a snare is a trap. You know, and the Lord has been warning you of this trap, but you didn't want to take heed to the warning, so you're going to walk right into the trap, man.
Let's really get this one.
So it's from the book of 2 Peter.
Hey, but that's why I said, what? He's coming as a thief in the night.
As a thief.
Right? If you sleep, you ain't gonna know the thief in your crib, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But if you're expecting for the Lord to come back, you're looking for signs, you're looking for times, you're looking for news, right? He told us what to look for upon his return, man. And that's what you're looking for. So every time an earthquake pop off, I'm like, oh shit, let me send this out. Right? Right? Where every time you see debt hitting a new record every fucking week as far as America, you know, that's prophecy, man. You know? Oh shit, it's falling. Right? The more you hear wars, rumors of wars,
Yep.
Right? Oh shit, it's falling. This is prophecy, man.
Pieces of movement.
Yep. Go ahead.
So 2 Peter 3 and verse 3, it says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts.
But it kind of has to be like that, man, if you think about it. Because these people got to mark themselves, man. Right? Our people too. Right? They gotta mark themselves, man. Because what, you had an opportunity to get it, it was presented to you, but you shitted on it.
Yep.
Right? So like it says, which we'll finish, right? I will laugh at your calamity. Right? Go ahead.
It says, verse 4, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? Before
Right, aren't they saying that? And my grandma said that. Y'all still waiting on Jesus? Right? Y'all still waiting on that? We need to create something here. The nigga with the least amount of power will tell you that. Right? The nigga with the least amount of, you can't even control. Listen, man. I know niggas, man. You can't even control your fucking household. You want to control a nation of niggas that's rebellious? Listen, these are the same niggas, and put this in perspective, man. They did this in the wilderness, man. These are the same niggas after seeing the signs, that the evidence of a divine presence, the splitting of the Red Sea, the plagues that hit Egypt, right? The water coming out the rock, the manna raining from heaven, the quail coming out of nowhere, right? These are the same niggas that still scoffed and didn't believe, and you think you.
Hey, you don't say we need to build something here, but when a nigga got more money than another nigga, they flash it towards the nigga that ain't got money, and then they sit out there and make podcasts and videos about it on YouTube. How you gonna come together, but you knocking down somebody that don't have the financial means that you do? That's not how you build a nation. You build a nation by bringing each other together, right? And by having some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding on how to deal with such situations. If you listen to Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, you ain't gonna get nowhere with that, man. Because them dudes ain't worried about building nations. They're worried about keeping your ass blind so you can work your hardest to make these women feel some way about you. hell out of here. We're talking about building a nation. The scriptures tell you how you build a nation.
Well, in the book, I think it's Haggai. The book of Haggai, they were trying to build the temple back, and everybody, the poor of the nation, they were forced to sell all their belongings to the rich of our own nation. And when the Lord said, "Hey, everybody needs to separate. Everybody needs to let everybody go back onto their own possessions," y'all fucking sit here oppressing each other with these fucking farms and shit, and then you sold the people right back into slavery to you, right after they released the debt from them. So like these are the same niggas here that make all this money and acting like they can fucking build something. You can't build nothing with nobody like that.
You can't build nothing.
Because one of the main things, if you read in the story, is that one of the main things that they wasn't on the same accord, man. Some of them niggas wanted to go back to Egypt, right? You wanted to go back right into captivity, right? Some was with it. Okay, we believe, right? When Moses left, though, what did they create? Right? They created a golden calf, man, and worship. Okay? These are the same niggas back today that you think that you could control. And you can't. With no power.
I wish you would go to Chicago and try to nigga out there and get right.
Come on, man.
I wish you would.
You get left.
He gonna
get left.
They gonna find you in a dumpster somewhere with your body burned 100% third-degree burns all over your body.
Yep.
Because the whole head is sick, as the scripture says. These niggas are sick out here, man. Mentally. They fucked up, man. Because here it is that you don't have nothing, and the moment you see a nigga with something, instead of asking him for advice, you want to take his shit.
Right.
Right? Instead of asking how to fish, right, you want to take his fish.
Right.
Right? See, the whole head is sick. These niggas is mentally fucked up, man. Right? But these are the same niggas. Right? Here it is, you get cussed out by your woman at the house. Right? Here it is, she dictating what the fuck you do.
Right.
Here it is, you can't do nothing without her fucking consent, but you want 1 million niggas to listen to you? You crazy as fuck, man. You tripping.
The scripture says a man that know not how to control his household, how should he rule over the church?
Exactly, man. Because you too worried about feelings and not power. That's what most niggas is worried about, feelings. How somebody feel, if you worry about feelings too much, you won't be able to give a right judgment, man. Yeah. Imagine that when you read about Solomon, one of his big things that showed, one of the first things that showed that he had wisdom is when the two women, right, the harlots, they had the babies, right, and then one baby died, and then the mama of that baby died, she stole the other alive baby from the other harlot, right, and then the harlot went to King David, was like, hey, she stole my baby, and he was like, well, bring the baby here, and the lady was like, that's not her baby, that's my baby. He said, bring the baby here, and he's about to cut the baby in half, and the real mama said no, and he was like, that's the mama, right, but what man that cared too much will hold a baby up with a sword and try? You won't even have that thought, man, because you care too much, right? You care about people feeling too much instead of caring about the fucking result, which would better their feelings, which would better their end, man. Right? Go ahead.
This 1 Timothy 3:5. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of the Most High?
Yeah, if you don't know how to rule your own house, how can you take care of the church? Scriptures also say if you can't provide for your house, right, then how are you really
counted as an
infidel,
right? Yeah. You know? So you can't, man, you gotta, that's why what brothers always say, you gotta be a man first, man. You gotta be a man first. And then you can be a man of the Lord. You can't be, because the Lord gonna put you through some things, man. If you come in like a boy, you definitely gonna be a man.
Yeah.
Right? Years and years, the first year you probably do some foolish shit, right? Second year you like, third year, fourth year, by the fifth, sixth year you like, oh shit, I'm a completely different person than I was back in fucking 2016. You take what I'm saying? I don't even think the same. Don't even talk the same, right? Why? Because it's the Lord, man. Right? After being chastened, after going through shit, after fasting for the first time, because you fast for the first time when you come to the truth. You know, after realizing what you are and what you was and what the Lord is trying to save you from, you like, okay, man, I'm glad that I changed. But majority of niggas don't think like that. They're still stuck in your 2015 ways or wherever you came in, man. You know, imagine being stuck there and this nigga's 50. You know,
Yeah, that's why you can't change the mindset of an old nigga
Scriptures say what? You can't put
New wine and
Into
old
old
wine.
bottles.
Right? Go ahead. Because he's always gonna come with this. You'll get a nigga the truth. It'll make sense to him, and then it just disperse out of nowhere, and then he'll come back with his Egyptology or his women worship or whatever the fuck it is. You're like, nigga, didn't I just tell you?
Flat Earth.
It's like
Did I
that. It's like that dude on Baby Boy. When he told Baby Boy, he said, I did it and I done it all, Baby Boy.
And that nigga still didn't want to listen to it until it got real. Yeah, when he choked, you put him in choke. He said, call for your mama.
Guns and butter.
Go ahead, brother.
This is Proverbs 1 and 22 from the top. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?
Hey, Jesse Peterson, real quick, Salakia. Hey, Jesse Peterson, which is that black ass nigga who think he white, but Jesse Peterson, he's pretty much saying that the young community can't get right, but the young community is only gonna learn from those that come before them. So they're not gonna get right because nigga, you ain't right. And then if you want the so-called black community to get right, aren't you supposed to be the elder to go into the communities and try to get the young ones to get right? But you're not, because you would prefer being in a community with a bunch of Edomites than you would dealing with your own people, man. Because in one of his interviews, Jesse Peterson said what? He said, I'm not nothing like them. He said, I ain't nothing like them. I'm not black like them. That's what he said. Man. So if you got a so-called black leader like him, then you can expect that the so-called black community would never get right, man.
Yeah. And if you value money more than anything, you'll always be able to be controlled and manipulated, right? Because what if Maccabees value money, right? What if Yahushua value money, right? When he was tempted.
And even the scriptures say that he became poor so that we could become rich.
Right. So what if they did? See, the heathen, they always try to what? Come to you with the riches of this world, right? For you to go against your power. But if they're coming to you with the best that they got for something that you have, don't you think that the thing that you have is worth way more than what the fuck they're offering you?
Exactly.
Right? But niggas don't think like that. Niggas see now, right now. But right now it's temporary, man.
They see what? Well, I don't have to pay rent. I ain't gotta worry about bills. I ain't gotta worry about a car note. Right? I could go to the dealership, pull off with a nice vehicle.
Which is
Right?
nice.
And this same vehicle that I'm gonna pull off with, I'm gonna be able to get bitches in.
Yep.
So this is what they worried about. They not worried about being delivered from the Most High.
Yeah, and
Because Jake now he's starting not to believe in the Most High because Jake is saying what? They saying that God doesn't exist because why is it taking him so long to come back?
Mm-hmm.
This is what's on Jake's mind now. Well, the Lord tells you, and when you go into the scriptures, he said what? I am a man of long suffering. Long suffering. So when you have the scriptures and you read them and you're going through these book, chapter, and verses, then you can see why it takes a period of time for the Most High to send his son Yahushua back unto the earth.
Really, it's mercy that the Lord don't come back that quick, man.
Man,
Because imagine if you'd have came back yesterday or last week.
Be dead.
Well, you niggas would be toast,
Like,
man.
be dead.
Let's get that, man. Give me that second picture.
This is 2 Peter chapter 3, continuing on in verse 4. It says, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. For this, they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water.
See they saying what? The world been like this for thousands of years.
Ain't nothing changed.
Ain't nothing changed. Where's the Most High? The world been like this for thousands of years. This is what's on their mind. That's why they don't believe.
Go ahead.
It says in verse 6, it says, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished, but the heavens and the earth which are now by the same word are kept in store,
For what?
reserved unto
Wrath.
fire,
Unto fire, which is those thermonuclear missiles, which is the second death for you niggas. And you heathen. Go ahead.
against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
Keep going.
But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day.
So that's one right there. Right, the Lord doesn't work on our time frame. Man. That's one right there.
It's one.
Hey, you really gotta take that in, man. You really gotta take that in because it hasn't even been a day with the Lord, man. Something that 24 hours that feel like a day to us, that's nothing to the Most High, man. That's not even a second to the Most High. 24 hours to the Most High is not even a second. That's crazy, man. So time for us may affect us mentally. It may affect us physically, but time to the Most High, it doesn't affect him.
It's not far, because it's like dog years, man. It ain't far fetched. They age a lot faster than we do. You know what I mean? You had a dog for 2 years. That motherfucker, how was it, 14?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
That motherfucker trying to pay bills. Go ahead, Alex.
It says in verse 9, and it says, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise.
See, he's not slack concerning his promise, man. The Lord isn't slack concerning his promise. Go ahead.
As some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward.
See, he's long suffering to usward. That what?
It says, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance.
Because like I said, man, if he came back yesterday, Israel, majority of Israel, be wiped the fuck out, man.
Mm-hmm.
All you niggas who saying I want the Lord to come back and boasting like that, right? Scripture said, what should that day be for you, man? Woe to you that desire the day of the Lord. What should that day be for you? How you know you right, nigga? How you know you gonna make it, nigga? Right? You want to see the Lord, but when you see the Lord, you ain't gonna want to see the Lord, nigga. Right? All you are, the Lord, Jesus this, Jesus that. But when you see him, you ain't gonna, oh man, hold on, I didn't know this was coming. You knew it was coming, you just didn't believe it was
Hey,
coming.
the scriptures tell you when the Lord makes his return, you don't feel like the time was just too short.
Right.
It's gonna be devastating that day.
Right.
Hey, because you gotta understand, man, that when the Lord comes back, it's not gonna be a peaceful time, man. When the Lord comes back, it's gonna be nothing but death and destruction. So everything that you believe that's normal to you as of right now will change drastically, man.
Well, it says, man, that he's not coming to bring peace, but a sword.
Yep.
You know, and that he's not. There's another one that says it says that he's coming to bring division. You know, so you people who are trying to come together or coexist, you know, and be accepting, you know, of all people. That's not how the Lord operates, man. He created separation, man. Okay, he has his people, you know, and he has the other nations.
Well, why do you think the Tower of Babel was destroyed, man?
Exactly.
Right? When you read about the Tower of Babel, they were trying to mix in all nations.
But there's like stories, man. You know, I saw this thing on social media once, and it said they said that the Lord destroyed the Tower of Babel because he was scared that people were going to reach the heavens and shit like
But
that.
niggas can't revive themselves.
Like what?
Niggas can't keep themselves alive.
Exactly.
Right? Niggas can't make the sun come up,
And people believe shit like that.
nor
man.
make the sun go down. Niggas, that's the boastfulness America has got to.
Mm-hmm.
Because now they want the Lord to repent for doing what he did to Sodom and Gomorrah. But who was you who was you, man? You didn't even create yourself, man.
And one thing too, man, is that what Christians don't understand is that they don't even know that there's 3 heavens, man.
Yeah.
They think when they was building a tower in Babylon, like the brother said,
Idiot they are.
they was building a tower to get into the 3rd heavens with the Most High. There's only one way to get into the 3rd heavens, and that's your ass dying. That's
Spirit.
it.
Spirit.
That's a spirit
Where the
world.
spirit dwells, motherfucker.
You won't tell me they trying to build a tower to heaven But here, your ass can't even see the spirits that's around you right now.
Right.
That don't even make sense.
Hey, but that's the wisdom of this world, man. But Scripture said that the wisdom of this world is foolish
It's foolish.
with the Most High, man. It's foolish with the Most High. Okay, that's nigga. You don't even know. You trying to get somewhere you can't even get, and then you get like. But that's how you so smart, you dumb.
Hey, well,
Yeah.
it was on the Apocalypse, X-Men the Apocalypse. What did he say? He said, you can shoot your arrows from the Tower of Babel and they will never strike God.
Hey, that's,
Come on, man. And it was an unfinished tower. But that's a cop out, dog. God didn't want us to. We didn't build it because God didn't want us to reach this level.
That's
Nigga,
bad.
shut up, nigga. You niggas is retarded, man. But okay, explain why you motherfuckers couldn't keep the same languages, right? Because he threw in different languages because of that.
You gotta understand too, right? We have what you would call today modern technology, right? So they can build buildings. There's buildings in the world that's tall as shit.
Right.
They didn't have modern technology back in the day. So how the hell was they gonna build a tower to the kingdom of heaven where the Lord dwells?
one gust of wind, that shit's blowing
Like
up.
that shit gonna blow up. There's a reason they even talk about it. Like if you look it up, they tell you that there's a certain limit that they can build a building because they gotta make sure that it can stay balanced. If you build something too high, it's gonna be off balance. That's why they say in order to build, you have to build it to the point where you're building it upwards and downwards, and then you connect it.
You gotta dig. You gotta
There's
dig
no,
first.
they 2,000 plus years ago, they didn't have helicopters, planes. They didn't have anything that could keep them hovered in the air. How the fuck they gonna do it now? And they still don't got anything that can keep them hovered in the air. You people are idiots, man. I'm telling you.
Just building behind.
Yeah, kind of
Right.
like they have to put up these cranes, bro. But those cranes can only go up so high, man.
And the cranes are only used to transport cargo from the bottom to the top. That's it.
One gust of wind.
One gust of rain,
Hey.
that's a done deal.
Hey, plus up there, man.
You can spell well then.
You got Spider-Man trying to save people from cranes and shit.
Hey, bro, plus up there, man. There's less oxygen.
Right.
They can't
So
breathe.
there's less oxygen up there, man. You people can't breathe correctly up there, man. You'll
That's-
pass out.
People don't think, man. They just say shit out of their ass, and then a lot of times these people are just regurgitating what somebody else said.
Yeah, that's
And watch the scripture saying, it says that the simple believeth
I
every
spirit.
word.
I was thinking about that.
Well, that's why pride leads to destruction, man. You know, because pride has you thinking that tower will be successful. Right? Pride will deceive you, man. Pride is not your friend, man. It says pride was not made for men, man. Okay, it wasn't. Because then you start thinking that you can do shit like that. Right? Thinking you can't die and shit. Thinking you on top of the world and shit. Right? Then your ass get flat. You know? You better add, well, Nebuchadnezzar, man, he was turned into a fucking beast.
Falling at the ground.
Right? Eating grass and shit, man. Until he gave the Lord the glory. He was like, I know you exist.
Here's
Like, I've
somebody.
been messing up.
Here's somebody who y'all will call today mentally ill.
Mhm.
That's the type of state of mindset that the Lord put Nebuchadnezzar in.
But at the time, he had all the power in the world. You think Elon Musk had power? No, man. Nah, this motherfucker had power in that time.
Hey, the scripture says for I have given him to rule nations.
Come on, man. And then he got dropped all the way down to a fucking beast. A beast, man. Showing you that it's evidence of the Lord, man.
Well, the scriptures call Nebuchadnezzar Lucifer, man. Lucifer means the bearer of light. And guess what? He was beneath because what did the Lord say? He said, because of Nebuchadnezzar did not acknowledge me, I made him into a beast.
Wow.
And everything.
People, the Lord can do all things, man. And so that's why the scriptures say, that the Lord, He directs the steps of men. He controls the king's hearts. So all things that happen are because He ordained them, man. But there's one in the book of Isaiah. It says to acknowledge His might, and people don't do that, man. People don't acknowledge the Lord, and so that's why you're gonna have so much suffering and so much death on the earth, man.
People acknowledge men more than the Most High.
That's why I go to these churches, man.
The scripture says they trust in the arm of men.
Yep. That's why I go to these churches and want to see these people, right? These people that you see on TV and all that shit, man. Because you're idol worship, really. And then the one thing about the heathen, to show you how proud the heathen is, them motherfuckers, they create their gods with their own hands and worship. You know how proud you gotta be to do that? And then they're so dumb and stupid that they worship things that the Lord created. These motherfuckers worship the sun, they worship stars, they worship the moon, wood, rocks, all kind of shit. But we are to worship the one who created it all, man. Shows you that we on a different level as far as the people than these other nations. Which means what? It ain't far-fetched that they would be in subjection under us. Why wouldn't they be? The law was given to us. Yeah, somebody get quiet.
That's what it sounds like.
The law was given unto us, man. The law was given unto us, right, to make us wise among the nations, man.
Right.
And all nations are supposed to come flow up unto us for what to do, man. Man, this is a nation with wisdom. God chose this nation, right? He gave us the law. He didn't get a heathen the law, man. Right?
And look at the world, man. Look at the world and how it is when the heathen are ruling over it. It's great wickedness on the earth, and it's great death on the earth because of the wickedness that these devils implement. But you people want to stay here. You want to stay here because you love that freedom that you have. You love to be able to commit adultery and worship whatever you want to. You love to be able to tattoo your head, your face from head to toe. You love that you can go to a cosmetic surgery and get horns put on your head and say, this is my body, I can do whatever I want to. You know, a lot of these women love the fact that they have the right to go to these states that legally allow them to have abortions. This is the world that you people love so much, which is completely out of order. But this is why you want it to still be here to this very day, because it allows you to do whatever you want to do. And the Lord's going to destroy it.
That's right.
You know, it's going into them nations. This is Psalms 9 and 17. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all nations that forgot God. So all you nations out here that, you know, have forgotten Yahweh Shem Shai, hey, he about to remind you of him. Y'all about to see real soon Al-Shad. And when he come out, it's gonna be your ass. All the crying and sniffling and snotting and all that ain't gonna do nothing for you. You know, because hey, as Buzz up about earlier, you know, prophets on the highways and byways telling you that Yahweh Shem Shai was gonna return. And of course all you heathens gonna catch it too. You other nations.
Yeah, well, just like when you go into the story in Ezekiel 9:4, where the Lord had these men set a mark upon the forehead of those that sign that cry for all the abomination that be done in the midst thereof. The Lord showed no mercy unto the rest, man. So if you go to the book of Ecclesiastes, that's why I said there's no new thing under the sun. Mm-hmm. That which took place then is going to take place now. The Lord have chosen his elect, which is predestined to be saved, and all the rest of you going to die. And you others, you're going to go into captivity, man.
This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, starting at verse 1. And it says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labor. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
So we're not surprised that you don't listen or you don't hearken to what we're saying. We're not surprised. I mean, we have to do it anyway to get the blood off our hands, right? And we know better, so now we got to teach better. Right? Go ahead.
When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Yeah, the scriptures say what? We should no longer talk about the deliverance of Egypt, but the deliverance of the North Country, man. Okay, because the deliverance coming around this time is going to be on a whole nother different level, man. Okay, go ahead. I mean, you guys already spooked about the chariot. You see chariot sightings, and you try to shoot them down, and you spooked about it. And you can't do shit.
Oh my God!
And now they're just blowing. They trying to blow shit out of the air that they can't even identify. They're just shooting it out of the air. They're not trying to investigate it. They're not trying to find out what it is. They're just shooting it out of the air.
And they're causing no damage.
Yeah, and the technology behind a chariot is something you can't even number, man. I mean, these are vehicles that can go in the spiritual realm and come into your very existence.
Hey, they was scared of the balloons that was floating around. They identified as balloons or something. Then they shot them out of the air, talking about they could be spy drones or something from China and shit. So they're afraid, man, because people are afraid of what they don't understand. So what do? They attack it before they even
Ask questions.
before they ask questions.
questions
First,
later.
ask questions later. That's what they did. They shot that shit out of there, and then they said, "Well, we're gonna identify it now and find out what it is."
And they know who's in those ships too.
Right.
You got so-called black men walking out of them ships, man.
Yep.
They look like just like us, man. Yep.
Pretty powerful.
Man, that's your worst nightmare, man.
What did he
see
say?
a Jake that's 9 feet, 10 feet, 11 feet tall with an afro
Yep.
and 0% body fat and fucking, you know what I'm saying? And just perfect.
Weapons.
You know?
Didn't he say people that look? He said people that had a look they have never been conquered,
Yeah.
and they were just standing there looking at you.
Yeah.
A quick precept for that, man. This is James 2 and 19, and it says, "Thou believest." It says, "Thou believest that there is one God. Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble." See, man, they're scared.
The elites.
Yep.
Terrified.
No, man.
Yeah, they know.
They have accomplished that
Diligent search.
diligent search,
Well,
man.
why do you think they build bunkers, man?
Yep.
Why do you think that? You think it's for no reason? No, man, because they understand what the fuck is gonna happen.
They understand prophecies.
Instead of going to the caves,
Yeah.
down in them holes.
Everyone tells you that in Revelation 12 and 12, man.
Like the rock,
You know, they know that they have but a short
What you
time.
talking about?
You gotta understand, like, these archaeologists and historians and scientists that they send out into the world to discover things that have taken place in the earth, and then they come across these mountains with this salt damn near above the mountain. And they're like, wait, this is in a book. So this actually really took place.
Yep.
So God really does exist.
Yep.
So now when we read the book, and Genesis the 9th chapter, we read that God's not going to flood the earth anymore. But then we go into all these books that talks about the destruction by way of fire. But this is what's coming. Well, if we're testing out all of these missiles, and we see that the missiles can only reach a certain distance, well, we're gonna build underground just enough to where we know that these missiles aren't gonna penetrate. And this is why they have bunkers, because they read these scriptures, they can see these prophecies, which is easy to see that this place is gonna be destroyed by way of fire. They can see these prophecies, and then they're trying to save themselves, and they're gonna leave the rest of you people out here to burn up and die, man.
So the scriptures also say he's wiser than Daniel. So you mean this man knows what's about to happen. Matter of fact, what is that? 2 Peter 3 and 7 tells you that this place is gonna burn by fire. First it was destroyed by water, now it's gonna be burnt by fire.
Why are you thinking that the elites are building bunkers underground? Why are you hearing all these strange noise that's underground in these earthquakes that's taking place? Because you gotta understand, when you down there and you messing with the earth, you're messing with its structure, how it's holding everything on top of it up, which is gonna cause earthquakes and other events to happen in the world, because they're trying to save themselves, man. But the scriptures talk about what? That he's gonna pull them out from the holes of the rocks and the clefts of the mountains, man. So it's a good indicator to see that everything they're doing because the Most High set them up to do it.
That's right.
And there's only one way that they know that they can be delivered from nuclear war and nuclear fallout is by going underground.
Yep.
You can't go nowhere on the top of the surface and think you're gonna be delivered when these missiles start hitting, man.
Mm-hmm.
Why you think when they sound off the alarm for a thermonuclear threat, people panic and go crazy? Because there's no running from a thermonuclear missile on top of the surface. You can only go underground and save yourself that way. But guess what? They're falling straight into the hands of the Most High according to prophecy, because the Lord's going to use the elect and pull their asses out of the rocks. Because guess what? They have to go into slavery. Guess what? There's a thing that's called reincarnation. So all the people that's going to be on top of the surface that die and that get slaughtered and that get burnt up, they're all going to be reincarnated through the seeds of these devils that's hide under these under the earth. They're going to be reincarnated. They're going to come back through that seed, and they're going to go straight into captivity, man.
It's in the book of the book of Revelation 6 and 15. It says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens, and and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Hide us from that. But that's the same ones desiring that. Right? Hide us from it. But you're desiring it right now until it's in your fucking face.
Kill me, please, kill me.
You know? It said in that day, I mean, some will be seeking death, but won't be able to do it.
Ooh, about that.
Because you're going to have to feel what the Lord got for you. You know? You're going to have to feel it. Because you think, okay, think about this, man. Think about you talking shit, scoffing all this time, and you think you just finna cop out and kill yourself at the end. No, you're not, man.
Nope.
You're gonna have to get it.
You'll get the
You're
work.
gonna have to get it, man. You can't run from what the fuck you gotta pay that tab, man. Okay? You wanna grab that one while our brother grab it?
There's one more verse. Yeah. Verse 17. It says, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
Come on, who should be able to stand, man, in that time? When you go to 2nd Ezra 13 to tell you how the Lord is coming back, and give you a description of what's going to happen, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And other motherfuckers sitting around, oh, I can't wait, I'm saving myself for Jesus. Right, well,
Okay.
okay.
You that desire that day.
Yeah, save yourself for what, man? The fuck you saving yourself from?
Hey, right. You think now because you're older, you're in the house sitting on the couch. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's gonna deliver you because you're not out in the world doing all sorts of wickedness.
But you was just 20 years ago doing all your fuckery.
And you did nothing. You did no works to repent for all the wickedness. Hey, look, the scriptures tell you to repent, which means you gotta turn back from all your wickedness. But there are also works that you have to put in to show your faith. If you just sitting on the damn couch thinking that now you believe in who you call Jesus Christ and you're gonna be saved for it, you're dead ass wrong, man.
Yeah. It's like a harlot trying to be loyal in her older age. You know, because she hit the wall.
Right.
You know?
Loyal.
Yeah,
Nobody
bitch,
wants you no more.
nobody wants you no more, bitch.
Hey,
That's
you
a
only
great
stop
point.
being a hoe because now you shriveled
You
up.
off the market, yeah. You know?
That's a great
Okay.
point.
Me done crash.
Now you look like a damn a prude.
Yeah, bitch, get out of here, man. But look, if you look, that's what's going on today. These 40-year-old, 50-year-old,
Titty sagging.
trying to tell the young girls what,
No.
you know, yeah, titty
Like
sagging,
titties.
yeah, coochie, roast beef, bitch,
Titty sagging, belly
RB meat, coochie, bitch.
And they got the stomach that they tuck in their pants.
Oh, I hate
now
that,
they wanna
man.
Now they want to be.
Hate that.
They take that shit right
Yeah.
there.
I'm a 10 out of 10.
Hey, what they do? They wear that
You are not negative.
corset,
Yeah, of course it.
tie it all the way around the stomach and shit.
Yeah, then when you peel that motherfucker off, it just bursts off and break a mirror in the house.
You know, like that stuff when you open the biscuits.
Ow.
Boom.
Bitch, you was breathing, you almost died, bitch. An hour more of this shit, you would have covered.
Hey, bitch,
Even the mirrors are suffering,
the
man.
bitches be looking like they full of leaven.
Yeah, full of shit.
It's rice.
Full of like shit. Rising up on
He said, look at my wife. Look like a second lunch.
Rio.
Said, this the,
They said look like a second launch.
said, this the wife the Lord want me to have. Here, go ahead.
Con, this is
Second launch.
this is Amos
No,
chapter.
but you see that shit though, man. You see that, you know, these harlots, they used to be bad in high school, man.
Yeah.
And then now after one or two kids, now they want to fuck with the dude they never want to fuck with ever. Right? And all of them like that. That's equivalent to y'all. Oh, I'm not out there partying, but you're not out there partying no more because it's not your market anymore. You out on the couch because you're old now. Right? So now you want to run to Jesus in your old age. You want to run to who y'all call Jesus in your old age because the world isn't on your side anymore.
And it's a fact because you can see that a lot of these elder women are still trying to go out there and do that shit.
Exactly. They get a little, and then look, you give that person a little bit of oomph, a little bit of energy to go through the bullshit, and they right to the bullshit. They right to it. So they all fucking lip service. But what was you doing when you had the power? What was you doing in your youth? Right? What was you doing, man? What was you doing when you had the opportunity to say no? You said yeah every fucking time. All of a sudden you think the Lord supposed to hear you now? Right? You think you supposed to have some type of favor now? No, it's not the case, man. It's not the fucking case. You gotta pay for what you did, man. You can't just steal life, motherfucker. Right? But people want something for nothing. You can't come and have that attitude with the Lord, man. Because out here is sacrifice. It's here is sacrifice. You gotta go out to the highways and byways. You got to make sure you put your videos up. You got to make sure you study so you know what the hell you're talking about in your videos, right? You got to make sure you watch videos. You got to make sure you go into the history. And then when the camera not off, you got to make sure you're being as righteous as possible, right?
Man.
You average Christians, you average, well, you people in these other fucking religions don't do none of that, man. It's all lip service. Because the moment you get poked at, you fold every fucking time. Right? You fold every time. You got something?
This is Matthew 7:21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many shall say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
Yeah, on point, man. Because at the end, you want to pronounce like as if you were doing the work, or as if you really believe, or even some of you, right? You hear the truth, and just because you heard it, you think that all of you know the Lord's name, but you think that you fit the bill now.
And you did all this wickedness, and now you go to church on Sundays. You go to what they call it, Wednesday church school. Now because you're doing all these things, you righteous now. Righteous. Now you right for the Lord.
Let me give you some real shit, man. You wanna find a hoe? They all in church, man.
They all in church.
Oh yeah.
I ain't never met one that won.
They all in church,
one
man.
of them.
Because what? They commit adultery and then repent.
Yeah, they want to feel better about themselves.
Right.
That's why they go to church.
Right.
Because if they like sit at home too long, they gonna feel bad. They know because women at a certain point that shit does start affecting their fucking soul. That's why you'll see a woman that started off nice and looked good and was normal, and as soon as she hits that whole phase, now this bitch is randomly cutting almost all her hair, dyeing her shit all these random ass colors.
Yep.
It's because they got turned out and their souls are starting to be decrepit. So the only place that makes them feel like, man, maybe I'm not so bad is church. So that's what happens, man. But when you come to the Lord wants your good years. He don't want your horrible years. The Lord wants your good years, man.
Yeah, it's like
Now when you have no choice but to worship.
Yeah.
Now is when you have no choice.
Yep. Like the Lord said, what? He said, he said, my voice is unto you, young men, for you to overcome the world. Why do you think he said his voice was unto the young men? Because the young man was still in his strength. He was willing to take his strength away from his own fucking process that he wanted to do and apply it to what the Lord wanted to do. So you gotta be the same way in the truth. You women, you use your best years to hoe out, and then you think the Lord's gonna fuck with you. You're not. And you niggas that use your best years to nigga out, right? Fucking bug the fuck out in the world, smoke weed, all that shit, and do nothing else but those opportunities to commit wickedness, and then you think you're just gonna turn to the Lord and it's gonna be super easy. You're gonna get fucking bugged out too, man.
All of a
Because the
sudden,
Lord wants the good.
You're in your late 30s and now you want to get right.
Yeah. Why do you think the Lord said what? He said the Lord is found in them that seek him early. And that's not only going into the early as far as when judgment's about to come. It's going in early in your life too.
Look, you know when you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
You know in the back of your head you're doing wrong. As a woman, when you go out and have sex with multiple men, you know you're doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know that shit wrong. If somebody went up to a child, pull a gun, and was to shoot that child in the head, he knows he's doing wrong. When you go into a store and you want to pocket some candy out of a store, you know you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
You know you're
Otherwise you
doing
wouldn't
wrong,
try to hide
man.
it.
Right. Or why would you try to hide it?
Yeah.
Exactly. So you know you're doing wrong, but you come up with an excuse and you use an excuse to say, I was just young and dumb. Nah, come on, man. You know you're doing wrong. Young and dumb, my ass.
Yeah, like my woman, bro, got a lamp at the house that broke. She ordered the new one, and then she gonna tell me, oh, I'm gonna put the broken one in the new box and try to take it back and get my money back. I said, you dishonest motherfucker. I said, you gonna tell that to me? The scriptures tell you you're not supposed to steal.
Yeah, you know what? Since you brought that up, my demon did some shit like that. I got mad as hell.
Bro.
She was like, yeah, I went to the store, but these shoes were too expensive, so I swapped out the tags. I changed the tags with something else. I said, what the fuck is your problem, man? I said, and then I told my demon, like I said, look, you trying to become something that a lot of people can't become. So if you get caught doing some shit like that, you're ass out.
Yeah.
All that work you putting in school is gonna be a wrap, man. And you're gonna risk that for what? A couple dollar pair of shoes, man. Like y'all crazy, man. Y'all crazy.
They be getting them too on that shit, bro.
Solid, man.
I worked in the medical field for a long time, bro, and I've spent the shit that they be doing, bro. Them nurses, bro. I'll tell you, bro.
Something else, huh?
They something else.
Yeah, them nurses,
They be grimy, bro.
They
Something
grimy,
else.
man.
They be
Hey, the way
grimy.
the nurses be treating patients is like people when they treat their patients at caregiving, man.
Yeah.
Treat them
That's
like
how
dogs.
the nurses are, man.
Worse than
Especially
dogs.
when a nurse don't like you. And the darker your skin, the more you hate it in a hospital.
I work in the medical field. Best believe. Oh yeah. They show their ass in there. They come in with that power trip. You say something, oh, I ain't gotta give you this. For your pain, I ain't gotta do this, I ain't gotta do that. Hey man, they be mean. And where I work at, they talk to the kids crazy. They talk to other people, but they're behind a booth so they can talk to you crazy.
I told
And if they come out,
and they know they're doing wrong. They know they're doing you wrong, but they just have the power. And that's the same thing with people. They know they're doing wrong, but since it was given them the power to do wrong,
there you go.
they don't feel bad about it. That's why Ecclesiastes say what it is. Right? It says, because since it's against an evil work, it's not executed speedily. As far as people's fully setting up to do evil. And that's what you're seeing. It's like everybody's been given the power and ability to do these things because who's in rulership?
And people don't start regretting it until there's handcuffs on their hands.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't want to do it. I swear.
And my demon said she was in I think it was called clinicals or something like that. And she had to take care of an old man or something. He couldn't move or some shit. And she said that the nurse that was with her and training her was treating the dude like shit. And the dude ended up turning around telling my demon that he didn't want that nurse in a room with him no more. And he wanted my demon and shit. When my demon told me that, I told my demon, man, don't be in there treating people fucked up, man.
because
I was
they'll
like,
say you fucked.
I was like, because look, if you want your kids in a hospital, would you want them dealing with that shit? Or what if you had to go to a hospital? Would you want nurses treating you like that? I'm like, don't do that shit, man. Like, you people are fucked up, man. Like, y'all you motherfuckers are fucked up, man. Yeah, this is why we can't wait to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It's like, what makes you people? Yeah, well, we understand what makes you people do it. It's just like, god damn, man. It's like you gotta be that wicked to torture somebody that's already being he already tortured, man. The dude can't move, let alone even wipe his own ass. Then he gotta sit up there and deal with people that's gonna treat him like shit. Like, come on, man.
Scripture say the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel.
Y'all cruel as hell, man.
It's in Sirach, I think it is. It says,
Let the brother grab that when you find it. Go ahead.
Man.
I just got a quick scripture. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them.
Speak on.
Yeah, man. I mean, exactly what y'all was saying. People they don't want to serve the Lord. One, unless they think they're getting something out of it in the short term, and then also, they don't want to serve the Lord until after they have no power in the world anymore, and they can't do what they used to be doing in the world.
Hey, America is all about people's interest, man.
yeah.
And what they want to get out of doing something good, man. Okay, for an example, there was a comedian. He said, this is the crazy thing is, he was like, when people turn around and they give somebody homeless some money, you would notice, he said, if you pay attention, you would notice them looking around and shit.
Yep.
Because they're looking for somebody to say, oh, okay, yeah, look. Because they want to be seen doing something as if they think that it is good, man. Yeah, everybody's always after their own self-interest and shit like that. Get a dude the money. If you don't give him the money, that's it, man.
Yeah.
Move on. You ain't got to look for other people to give you some fucking gratitude for give the dude color and shit.
And that's why Yahweh Shai got those wicked Pharisees and scribes, because all their works they did to be seen of men. To be called rabbi, look at him, he's a righteous man. Like,
Man,
they
this
want
is
that
time.
affirmation.
This is that time right here.
Well, that's Nate like that.
This is
And
Sirach 4.
they put Nate on a horse like he was a Roman fucking general or some shit.
You see him on that magazine, Essence magazine.
He was on a magazine?
Yeah, he was.
It was somebody else put that together. It's not official.
Oh, Con.
Hey, it fits his spirit though. It says Sirach 4:3. It says, add not more trouble to a heart that is vexed, and defer not to give to him that is in need. right? And like the brother was saying, man, you don't want to fucking people already fucked up and then you just add, keep it on. Hey, here's a little more for you, nigga.
You add to it, man. You think
How's that feel?
You think he want to be in that position?
Exactly.
No,
Right.
but the Lord got him in that position, man. And then you come in like a demon, and you making this man time harder than what it needs to be. Like that man don't want to be in that position, man. When you fucked up in a hospital, and you got people around you, and they treating you like shit, and then they mad because they got to change a diaper or some shit like that. You want to be dead, man. You don't want to be in that position, and you come in and you make the dude life even harder. Well, fuck you. And then the thing is, it's like all them people that's in there, that's nurses or whatever, a lot of times they just in there just for the money, man. It's all for the money. It ain't really to take care of nobody.
Yeah.
But guess what, man? You eventually gonna be treated the same way you treat them, man.
The Lord said, the Lord always turned the judgment of the one that oppressed back up on them, man. So that it always happens, man. And then you have the niggas that are sick that
Just
are just
19, bro.
all out demons.
Go right to 19.
Too, because that's the other side. Some of these niggas are all out demons when they get sick. I deal with that shit at work all day. Fucking just mad because you gotta do the work. I'm like, nigga, I don't have no rights to it. You gotta help out. It's say right there.
Okay, you real quick.
I got it.
Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 16 and 19. Better it is to be of an humble spirit with lowly than to divide the spoils with the proud.
Yeah, man. You know, run it back because I think you missed it.
Better it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly
Yeah, with the lowly, man. Go ahead.
than to divide the spoils with the proud.
Because a verse above that, it tells you what? That it talks about pride, man.
I'm gonna get it.
Go ahead.
Pride goeth before
Yeah,
destruction.
pride goes before destruction, man. So a lot of people that get, them opportunities, sometimes they come off as prideful, man, and feel like they above the world and thinking that they can treat people like shit. But you can't, man. Right? You can't, because again, that shit come right back to your motherfucking ass, man. Right? The Lord likened his judgment to a ring, like it says in the Apocrypha. And so whatever you do, whatever you plant, you gonna reap, man. Go ahead. You looking at another man, woman, another man gonna look at your woman.
True facts.
You trying to supplant another man, woman to sleep. A man might be in your house while you doing it, right? That's why you supposed to remain upright, right? You remain upright, man. You don't reward evil with evil, man. Right? Because what the Lord, you got that?
Yeah, I got it.
The Lord is the one that judges, man. Okay, the Lord that judges is the one that judges, and then He could do something to that person, to your enemy, and get away with it. You do something to your enemy, you might not get away with it. Okay, go ahead.
Yep. Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived. Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Yeah, so whatever you sow, you're gonna also reap, man. You nurses that treat patients like that. Okay, when your mama gotta go through that, or when your daddy gotta go through that, it might be a nurse that fuck over your mama or your dad, man.
And now you're in a hospital tripping because of the way your mom or your dad being treated.
But you was doing the same shit.
shit.
Hypocrite. You was doing the same shit, man. Right? And just because it wasn't seen, that don't mean the Lord didn't see it, man. Because Scripture said what? His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Right? And it says what? When a poor man prays to the Most High, he will surely hear it, man. Right? He will hear it. Go ahead.
I got I got another one. Colossians 3 and 25. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done.
Yeah, that's why you want to be upright as possible, man. And deal with people honestly, man. Right? Because in the world, and when you're young-minded, you think you can get away with the tit-for-tat shit, and you might get away for a little while, but it'll always come back and smack you right upside your motherfucking head, man. I got his bitch. Yeah, I got his bitch. Ooh, I got his. But the same bitch you got, how you think you gonna lose her, motherfucker? The same way you get her is the same way you gonna lose her.
And love songs and shit.
And a lot of you dudes don't understand that too, man. Like when these women commit adultery on their husbands, and then they turn around and separate, and now she's dealing with you. What makes you think she's not gonna do the same thing to your ass?
Yep.
Well, if she's dealing with you, then you know what type of man you are, because it says what? She's giving unto a sinner.
Yeah.
Right? She's giving unto a sinner, man.
And the scripture says, "Go not into her that have defiled herself with another man." That's in the book of Jeremiah.
Yeah, there's another one that says he's a fool that dealing with another man's wife.
Right.
No,
Or
it's-
committed adultery.
This is Proverbs.
Because
Let's go to Proverbs.
man, I saw there's a video that came out recently with this Judite dude was with this Iskarite chick, and she was getting on him because he was talking to other bitches, but he knew she already had a man, and he said it in it, and she knew she had a man, right? And like a couple days later, a follow-up video came out where the dude saw it, the boyfriend actually saw it, and was like, and broke up with her, and then she's trying to blame the dude she was already committing adultery with. These people are bugged the fuck out, man. And that niggas are fucking fucked up on every side, man. It's crazy. The lack of judgment, the lack of sincere honesty and judgment is fucking wild.
Alright, this is Proverbs 6 and verse 23.
And this is twofold. It's going to other philosophies, but it could be likened unto a woman as well. Go ahead.
It says, for the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. And
Because if you follow the law and statutes and commandments, you'll get delivered out of a lot of bullshit, man. Just from following it, right? You get delivered out of a lot of bullshit, man.
Like if you get pulled over by the police, man, can the scriptures tell you to agree with thine adversary quickly? But you see all kinds of videos of Jake bucking up and thinking they have rights, and then they end up getting shot, or their faces on the fucking concrete, being smashed in the ground, man.
Yeah, a lot of Jays could have been delivered, man. Like,
All you could do is just give them your license, man. That's it.
Could have got out of that situation and went home to their families.
Yep.
But because you want to get crazy, now you find yourself toe tagged. You ain't gonna find yourself because you're gonna be dead, but your family gonna find you toe tagged. And guess what? Now you got to get the news from the hospital when they call you, one of your family members, and tell them that your ass is dead because you wanted to come up against the police.
And we got pulled over in Dallas, man, last week, and going into the airport. And man, I was so surprised what my brother did, man. He rolled all the windows down, put his hand on the steering wheel. I put my hands on the dashboard, and the cop walked up and looked, and he was cool with us, man. Our brother had tinted windows on his windshield, tinted windows on all four, like darker, like limo tint on all four windows, including his back window, and he was doing like 60 and a 30 or some shit like that, man. And the dude was like, why you going so fast? I'm trying to get into his flight so he don't miss it. He like, all right, cool, man. I'll just guide y'all to the terminal, and then we'll talk up there. So the dude ended up guiding us to the terminal, and then ended up just letting them go. I was like, bro, just be cool. There's people out here that's trying to get home to their family. If you'd accidentally hit somebody, and he was like, man, thank you, man, cool. And just dealing with the cops like that was cool, man.
It's cool.
On the back of my brother's license plate, it was 4414, man.
Wow.
On the back of his license, I noticed that when we was eating in a restaurant, I'm like, oh shit, his license plate is 4414.
So I remember when me and my demon was out, man, I got stopped by the cop. I pulled up into a store, and he pulled up right behind us. And just like what he did, I did the same thing. I had my windows down, I had my wallet on the dashboard, my hands on the steering wheel. The cop walked up, he was like, you know why I stopped you? And I just told him, no, I don't know. And he was like, well, you were speeding. I was like, oh shit. He was like, you got a license, registration, insurance? And I said, my license is in my bag and shit. It's in the back. So he was like, yeah, go ahead, get out the car. So I'm like, I'm real cautious with this dude. I'm like, hey, so I have my hands on the steering wheel. I'm like, is it cool if I reach down and open up the door? He was like, go ahead. So I fucking opened up the door. I went in the back. I opened up the trunk and waved. Before I even grabbed my bag, I was like, is it cool if I reach for my bag? He was like, yeah, go ahead. So everything I know that I gotta do to keep him comfortable, I did, man. I went in my bag. I did it like that. I went in my bag. I opened it up. I grabbed my wallet, gave him my damn license, and then I was like, my wife got the insurance and everything like that. He was like, yeah, just go back in the car and get him. He took the license, registration, everything. He went to his car. We waited like, I want to say maybe 10 minutes. He came back and was like, here, I give you a warning. And then he was like, where y'all going anyway? I was like, oh, I'm just going to one of her family members' houses. And then he was like, yeah, because y'all head towards that way, they're going to have a world clothes, they're going to have a B-52, little plane propeller and all that shit. He was real cool. He let us go off on a warning.
Hey man, getting pulled over one-on-one, man. If you haven't been taught this, I'll tell you. At nighttime, turn the dome lights on. When you get pulled over, roll all the windows down. right, and put your hand on the fucking
Let him
steering
feel it.
wheel. That ensures in the cop's mind that you care about his safety. Okay? And cooperate with him. Cooperate. What you need? My license, okay, cool. Ads, can I grab it? Shit like that. That should be common sense. It's not arguing with the motherfucker, man.
Because the cop, Salakia, but the cop, when you're acting like that towards the officer, he knows that you want to go home. He know you want to go home. He knows that you want to make it home. He wants to make it home. You gotta look, and you gotta understand that cops deal with motherfuckers that shoot at them.
Man.
Literally, dude in the driver's seat, like the other day, there was a cop that got shot because he stopped somebody, and the dude put his hand out of the car, pop, 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 shot the officer. So when these cops walking up to the car, they're immediately they thinking that you are a threat, man. And then now he walks up to your car and you causing all type of hell. I ain't giving you my license. I have the right to not give you my license. And look, if he gives you a ticket, that's why it's called fight that shit in court.
Yeah,
look, I didn't want to give him my license. I feel like he stopped me for this, that. You're fighting with the motherfucker that have the ability to take your fucking life, and he could possibly get off for taking your life because you're doing some stupid shit. Because you think that you think you big and bad and you go over a police officer and shit. You out of your motherfucking mind.
I told my woman it's a lose-lose situation, man, because what you're doing is you're being selfish, man. Because you might fuck up his day for the next motherfucker that he got to pull over. Now what you think he gonna do to the next motherfucker he pull over, man? But if he might have been mad, man. He might have been dealing with an ignorant motherfucker before he pulls you over.
Right.
You might have cooperated with him, right? And he might just give you a warning based on how cooperative you was with him, man. And then his rest of his day might be good for that. You don't listen. It's a lose situation, man.
And then a lot of you niggas set up biases against your own people because you act ignorant as hell. And then now he come up on another so-called black man. He come up with another so-called black man and thinking he's gonna do the same exact thing. So now he's like, oh fuck it, I gotta deal with another nigga. Fuck, man, I gotta deal with another nigga. And then he walks up to the car and find out you're a totally different person than the person he pulled over.
He cool. He's so fucking surprised and overwhelmed by how good of a person you are. He give you a fucking warning, man. Obviously, it's up to the Lord, but to make it go in your favor, you want to be on your team as much as possible. Right. So just cooperate.
And the Lord can make your enemies be at peace with you.
That's right.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
Wow, that's the spirit.
Proverbs 16:7. When a man's ways please Yahweh, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. And I got another one. This is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 9:13. It says, "Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill." So shall
Cops have the power to kill, man.
Right.
They have the power to pull out that gun and bop, 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 bop.
He's got a gun.
He got a gun.
All he's got to say, look.
It says, "So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death, and if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently.
There you go.
Wow.
Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city."
Man,
And
that's right.
the snares is what? Traps.
Traps, yeah.
It's a trap, man. It's a trap. And then you never know what these cops are planning. They might just be planning to pull you over, and they might expect you to act up so you could give them excuse to shoot your ass.
Yeah.
But if you act right, then they go like, oh, we can't take his life because
Ain't got no reason.
if we take his fucking life, it could be broadcasted all over the world that he was a good boy, he had his hands up, he went into trouble, and then now I'm gonna go to jail, I'm gonna lose my family. Look at the dude, what's that dude name that shot George Floyd?
Minnesota?
Yeah. That dude now locked up, and his wife divorced him before it happened. Because she looked at it like, I'm not gonna be with this man. He's about to be locked up half his damn life. So the dude lost his wife. Now his wife gonna be getting fucked by another man while he's locked up because he put his knee on the damn neck. But guess what? If George Floyd would have did exactly what he was supposed to do, even with the criminal record that he had, he could have been off with a warning or some shit. Or he could have just went to jail for I think he had a warrant.
Counterfeit money.
Right? Counterfeit money, yeah. He would have just went to jail, served his time, or got a fine and got out.
I gotta appreciate that. Change to
We
this.
gotta get that proverb. After that, we'll get that proverb.
Romans chapter 13, verse 3. It says, "For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil."
Hey, we'll start at verse 1.
Start at verse 1?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's what I got right now.
Okay. All right. Romans chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High.
said what he said to Pilate. He said, man, you have no power to do unto me than what my Father allows you to do.
That's right.
Go ahead. And that wasn't no, and this is a man that Yahweh Shai had power, man. Obviously, he did what he did for prophecy purpose. But he said, don't you think I can't call down a
Legion of
angels? Right?
I think he said 12 legions. Like, that's like
Come on,
78,000 angels, man.
Come on,
Just
man.
imagine that, man.
You know, so if he was able to be humble with it, why can't we, man? Go ahead.
We talking about Yahweh. We talking about Yahweh shot, man. We talking about somebody that cured people.
Ultimate
raised the dead.
He did miracles. He walked on water, and he had to humble down and get put to death, man.
Yep.
Come on, man. Ain't nothing greater than that, man.
And really, and the Lord, man, when you feel so much better when you're being humble, man. It's a fucked up feeling to feel proud, because then you start thinking everybody against you, because you prideful and not knowing that these motherfuckers on your team, man. Right? But you start to floss on motherfuckers that can really help you. You know, when you humble, it's like, okay, he got blessings and he's humble, and he willing to help you. People like that, they last long, man. They have a longevity in whatever they do. But it's the motherfuckers that get a little bit and put their middle fingers up to everybody and then lose it. Nobody want to help that person. But it's the one that get it, grind, stay humble, and help everybody else out to have the longevity. And you have a good fucking name. So your name is good wherever you go. Go ahead.
Yep. Verse 2. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of the Most High, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is the minister of the Most High to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid.
Yeah, if
For
you do what is evil, be afraid. It just said do what's good.
Yep.
It ain't weak to do what's good, man. We live in a reality where if you a so-called good man, you view that as weak. It's easier to be a bad person, man. It's easy to beat niggas up all day. It's easy to rob niggas. It's easy to do nigga shit. It's hard to actually be a guy with a man with integrity, man.
Right. It's hard to sustain from the temptation of wanting to do evil.
Come on, man.
It's hard.
It's an easy route. I tell niggas all the time, man, how about you get a legal hustle? Right? It's easy to go do all to sell dope and do all this shit, man. But how about you find a legal way to do it, man? That's a hustle. Right? The shit that you selling to sell itself, a monkey could do it, nigga.
And the crazy thing is that a lot of these jakes that's out here committing all the wickedness they committing, they could put all that money that they got into the stock market and be cool. They'll be set. They'll be settled. They won't have to come out here and rob people. They won't have to come out here and take money from what's the dudes that drive the armored trucks? The Brinks trucks. They won't have to do any of that because they'll be set, man. But Jake, the thing is with Jake don't want to do nothing that's gonna cause Jake to have to read something. Yeah. If Jake have to read, Jake got a problem with that.
Hell no.
He said, nah, I can read. I can rob somebody, and I don't have to read a book to rob somebody. I could go in the store and just take, and I don't have to read a book for it.
Yeah, niggas will sit here and justify, and I've heard it many times. Niggas will sit here and justify robbing somebody. They say, either I can work 40 hours in a week, get $800 at the end of the week, or I can hit this liquor and be done in 30 minutes and get the same amount of money.
With the possibility of you going to jail.
Yeah, but they don't even care about the possibility. In their mind, that's not even part of the fucking equation, right? But you don't know that the Lord's seeing all that shit. Mm-hmm. Go back to the book of Proverbs. It talks about him telling his son. It says, if wicked men entice thee, saying, put thy purse in with us, let us go and rob the person without cause. Cast not thy hat in with it.
Hey, this dude said, he said, yeah, you niggas go ahead and get locked up. I'm gonna be out here with your woman.
Oh, yeah. You and your fucking boys.
Hey, I was like, hey, dude. Hey, he was like, yeah, go ahead, go to jail, nigga. Go ahead. You better not have a woman.
I got a quick precept there.
Hey, with kids that's hungry, that's a nigga way in. Oh, your kids hungry? Oh, he in jail. Your kids hungry? What they need? What they need? I seen nigga what they need.
That's 3 happy meals.
Ain't nothing like taking a single. Hey, ain't nothing like taking a single mama grocery shopping. Boy.
3 happy meals. 3 happy meals. You gonna get some cheeks.
Man, you gonna get more than cheeks. Cheeks for weeks.
That's facts. Cheeks for weeks.
I just want to get this going into
Not advising that. Not advising.
how they
You
doing.
locked up, and you got a dude out here, you know, playing with your woman. Now what you gonna do? Now what can you do? Now you in jail. You upset. You upset. And you can't get out and talk to her. And one thing you gotta understand is that she's not gonna want to talk to you. All that shit you was doing to get all that money. You know, she was happy that the fact that you was out and she was able to spend that shit.
Right.
Now she's like, damn, you know, you're not making money, you're not providing for me. F you, I'm gonna go out and find somebody else.
Go ahead.
Right.
This is a scripture that you don't hear too often. Job 31:3. It's not destruction to the wicked and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity. So like they don't take into account that all that stuff they're doing, like you said, like he was saying, the Lord sees it all, and he'll you know move his spirit to make sure that you get destroyed in what you're trying to do. You know, in the last minute too. You know, like we watching them in the news, these people they be dying over random stuff like that dude, all that cheese fell on him.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that. You know, so
Yeah, the cheese there.
right. Yeah, so
Get killed by some cheese though.
it's not destruction to the wicked and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity.
Man, we had my mom had a business, man. I think she had like 2 businesses when I was growing up, like a tow truck company and all that. And we was living, you know, pretty good, man. And my stepdad went out and robbed somebody and got caught, and my mom had to forfeit all the businesses. Man. Damn. You know, this thing got caught robbing somebody, and he didn't have to. That's the cold part. You got 2 successful businesses with your wife, and y'all making money out this fucking world, right? And you go rob somebody and get caught doing it, and now we gotta go to. I was introduced to ramen noodles at that moment. Damn, damn, like what the fuck? Like why would he go and do that? But niggas is retarded, man. Niggas is dumb, man. I'm starting to think niggas like jail, man. I really be thinking niggas like jail because you tough. The toughest motherfuckers, you gotta like boys, man. Because your whole day is based around another man. I gotta wake up and shit on this nigga. I gotta make sure when I catch this nigga, I'ma whoop his ass. And then you do all that, you go to jail and be surrounded with nothing but niggas. Then you got a nigga Fleece Johnson in there with you. Now you gotta protect yourself from niggas like that, man. Right? And then you get these niggas get out 20 years later and tell you, man, it wasn't worth it. And why he telling you it ain't worth it? Because all the shit he had to endure when he was in there. You know what solitary confinement do to a person's mind, man? Can you imagine take the shower out the bathroom and lock yourself in the bathroom for 9-10 months for 24 hours a day with no phone, no nothing?
When I was in juvie and that door slammed behind my back, I was like, yeah, never again.
You know.
I was like, never again.
It was a dude that said the noise of doors locking gives him PTSD.
Oh yeah, that's why he said it in the Friday movie. No more locked doors.
It was a rapper, man. He said, man, they had me in solitary confinement for like 10 months or whatever. And every time I hear, now I'm free, every time I hear a door lock, I get PTSD. Because you in there stuck, talking to the walls, man. It was a dude who was in a hole so long where he had to make friends with cockroaches, man.
Damn.
What's up, Carl?
Like that's a cold, bro. That's a cold part, man. That's a cold part. When you can just do the right shit, bro, and be cool. When you start getting stories like that, you like, man, fuck that, bro. I'm cool. I'm gonna go over there. Yeah, that shit cool. Yeah, the glitz and the glamour in a street life, get the bitches and all that shit. But look what the type of bitches you're getting anyway. Right?
You only chase them because they got a fat ass. But then that motherfucker stink.
It stinks.
These bitches don't wash their ass.
They
Like
stink.
Dick Gregory said, it's full of dookie. It's full of dookie.
They stink. Man. These women, man, these women don't even know how to wash their asses right, man.
Yeah, they can't. They got long ass nails.
Or they be getting BBLs. You can't wash that shit.
Especially if you never had it. You don't know how to wash your fat ass if you never had one.
Like, your arm can only go back so far.
Hey, look,
and then your hand is only so big to go so deep.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. Off the rip. There was one dude, he was a rapper, and he said one time he was hitting this girl, that when he was hitting it from the back, he could smell it. And he said while he was hitting it, he had to hold his head back like this. So when you're doing that and you can smell it like that, your ass, that's a problem, man.
I would have walked away. You got to go. Your Uber's on the way.
I just opened the car window.
And the dude said, and the dude said when I was in it, he was like, man, I was already in it, man, so I had to finish.
Man.
He had to see it through,
You know, Jake, man.
This is Sirach 10 and 9. It says, why is the earth in ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such a one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. I'm going to go to, this is Sirach 14 and 9. A covetous man's eyes is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul.
He needs everybody else's.
So that's the brother's story right there. He wasn't satisfied with having two businesses and make money. He just wanted that nigga shit. You know? Hey, there's nothing more wicked than a nigga like that, man.
Hey, this is
Because what did the Lord get on David for? Right? He said she gave him the parable, right? To the prophet, he told him, he said there was a man that had one sheep. And he did everything to make sure it was good.
Yep.
And then a man that had many came along and said, I want that man's one sheep. And he asked David, what are you going to do? What would you do? He said, we're going to put him to death. Show me where he's at. That's
That
the
man is you.
covetousness that popped up. David was the king. He could have had any woman.
Yep.
You had to go for the man that only had one woman?
Put him to death, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Riot the
And
hit
that was an
type.
honorable man, man.
Yep.
He said, man, should I be chilling while my people fighting?
Exactly.
You know, wow, you can't even find dudes like that now to these days, man, unless you want the truth.
That was some wicked ass shit, man. Like,
He didn't want to live.
sometimes I be thinking about that shit every day. Sometimes, like, damn, I be like, damn, David was wicked.
But it show you how merciful the Lord is too, man, because it's
Yeah.
like, some of us did shit like that in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of us didn't snuck another nigga bitch, you know what I'm saying, in the world,
the crazy
man.
thing is, man, he was trying to have him lay with his wife so they both have committed adultery. Because he would have known. So if he would have laid with his wife, he would have committed adultery as well.
Yeah.
It's cold, man. It's cold. But you know, we have these book chapter and verses, you know, as examples of what we shouldn't be, man, and what we shouldn't do. So it's a learning thing,
And
man.
that's what we need days like the Day of Atonement, right? Because when you're going through that affliction, you're thinking about the shit, you asking for forgiveness about the things that you've done, man. You know, we done some shit, man. We done some shit, man. And the shit that we did that was wicked don't make you cool, man. It don't make you cool. As a matter of fact, men end up regretting it in their older age, man. I can't tell you how many niggas, I grew up with nothing but drug dealers, man. From my dad to my brothers, right? In their older age, and in other men's older age that was at a high level, they always regret it. They should go the other way, man. Don't do that. My dad said me down, Trey, do not be like your brothers, man. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. Don't go the other way. Go the other way. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. Go the other way. And this is a man that was big, you know what I mean, at a point in time. You know? But all that shit wasn't worth what the fuck he had to go through when he thought about it in his latter age.
Yeah, it takes wickedness to maintain wickedness.
Hey,
You can't keep that stuff. As soon as you get something wickedly, you can't keep it in a righteous way. There's no way. It was built on wickedness.
It takes a lie. It takes a lie to tell another lie.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
cover that
when
lie.
the truth starts to come out, you gotta come up with a better lie.
And when you
So
tell
that's
the
what
truth,
happens. That's why Esau's having such a hard time. Because he obtained all this shit by wickedness, right? By false dealing, right? Murder and deceit. And so now what? The truth is coming out, so he has to go 2 times as hard with the false dealing, murder, and deceit. So this is why now you shut down the whole economy for 2-3 years, and now it comes back up, and everybody's fucked up. Then he sits there and freezes people's assets for entire countries, and now nobody wants to do any business with them, so now they're leaving the currency. This is the fix to that, man.
So would make it easy.
this is that word for covetous. Off of the scripture that the brother had brought out, it says,
And that's why, like, when you motherfuckers wear this American flag and this American shit, I'd be like, If you realize what you're symbolizing and what you're wearing, it's such a fucking disgrace, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what do you know the history about what the fuck you just wearing, what you representing, man? Like, is that something to be proud about? That you raped, robbed, and murdered, and gave people diseases and all kind of shit, and then look how you maintain it, man.
Well, this is the wicked generation. So that's why they're called the American flag. Because for them, when they hear it from the rapper, it's no different when they see it from the government.
And that was his Jake on a YouTube short video. He was like, "I love America." I'm like, nigga, you forgot how they built America?
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all crazy as hell.
60 years ago, 70 years ago, you wouldn't be saying that, man.
Nope.
Everybody
Hey,
fire?
I've been crazy. I was thinking the
out there
same.
fighting.
Right, his ass would have been out there getting his back whipped.
Sprayed down with water hoses.
Hung on the damn tree.
Go ahead, bro.
Everybody trying to scriptures call our people sodist children, man.
Sodist
You know,
means stupid.
Yep. And in the same scripture, it says that it says that you people are foolish, man. You people are damn foolish, man. But this is that word, the definition for the word covetous. It says having or showing a great desire to possess something, belonging to someone else.
Yeah. So you want what another man got, man. You ain't supposed to be like that. You ain't supposed to do that. That's in the law. You ain't supposed to do that, man. Can't be like that. You gotta be happy with your portion. But niggas in the world ain't happy with just their portion. They want every portion. Because in their mind they think that they're conquering you. And they're not really. You know, because the same shit that they can grab from you, another person to come grab from them.
Yeah, the fucked up thing about America is the average day American doesn't even teach their kid that shit's wrong, man. Because if you have somebody that has multiple kids, I go around people with kids that are in the world, and I see how they deal among each other, and their parents don't say nothing. And I'll see my niece and nephew do the same shit. I'll be like, "Is that yours? Does it belong to you? Why you crying that he tuck it back there? It's his." But people in the world will be like, "Share." No, it's his.
It's his.
He gets to have the chip. So now this person that didn't, it wasn't theirs in the first place, is being taught that covetousness is okay because mama said share. So then they grow up into these little fucking covetous monsters.
Why does it have to have one too?
Yeah.
That type of attitude, man. This is Proverbs 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 20. I'm gonna run back 23.
Like, you don't know how hard that man worked to get that woman pregnant. You don't know how hard, you know what I'm saying, somebody worked to get that house or that car, and then your covetous ass will go in there and try to take it. That's why you niggas get your head blown to smithereens, man.
That's
you
why
get
it's
caught
like,
in a nigga house.
That's why it's like, like you'll see videos where somebody get the brakes beat off of them for stealing a car. Like I saw one not too long ago where a dude in Baltimore or Chicago got the fuck beat out of him by dudes, but he stole their car in the first place. And that nigga, a covetous person, they don't even think about how much work it took for that person to get that car.
That shit.
Bro, I remember when I was a kid, you having a car was so fucking valuable.
Man.
Where it was like, damn, your family got a car? I know it's not like that anymore, but it used to be that, like tough. Like your family got a car? Wow. And like by your family having a car, it opens up a whole bunch of avenues for you to be able to make more money to sustain the entire family. And then now people use their cars for what? Those app-based jobs, the gig economy. So then somebody steal your car now, they just ruined your whole livelihood.
Yep.
Because you're not able to get on places on a bus and shit like you did before. They're requiring you to be at work even earlier than they used to be.
Right. So now, yeah, that's a good point because you got a lot of jobs today that require you to come in early, and the buses don't even run at those certain times.
Yeah.
So now you fuck trying to get to work, and then you go out and you go steal somebody's fucking car. You niggas are stupid, man.
Bro, there's so many videos coming out where people are doing this to people, and then they track down their car, and the person's like, "I'm sorry, I only took it because of this." What the fuck you mean you only took it because of this? And I get pissed because they don't even fucking put hands to these people sometimes. I'm like, what do you mean you took it because of this? That you took it because of that because you're fucked up. So because you're fucked up, you're gonna fuck up this other person's life. You people are gonna get your fucking desertion these days.
Yep.
That's some wicked shit, bro. It's hard to live already, man. You got people stressed out. They put in their last few dollars to get them through the last few days before a paycheck, and you use that gas when you stole it, and all they get is their shit back with less in it. They don't even feel comfortable in it no more. Because once somebody steals something from you, bro, it's a sense of fucking dis-ease. That's in your soul, bro.
There's a reason why they say people live out here paycheck to paycheck, because that's what you literally living by, paycheck to paycheck. Then you turn around and you take what belongs to them. Like, they had to work hard as hell and wait for income tax and shit to get that car, to put a down payment on that car, or to buy that TV, or to get something. And you wonder why, you know, people get crazy when you take shit from them, because you got to understand how much they have suffered to get that shit. And you not willing to suffer, you just willing to take it.
And then majority of the states in America, they'll penalize the person that went back to go get their shit, right? Texas is like one of the few ones that would be like, you can go get your shit, and by any means.
And
you got to
shoot them
shoot
in the
them if you have to.
Yeah,
That's like one of the few states, and that's a righteous thing to do. That's a righteous thing to do, because the scriptures tell you, if a man break up a house at night and he be put to death doing it, right? The person that put him to death, that he was trying to rob from, he's not responsible for that person's death.
Hey, I remember the sheriff in Texas. They was like, or the chief in Texas. He was like, yeah, if y'all try to come out here and take our guns, he said, we fighting back. We don't give a shit. We fighting back.
Yeah.
Say they was willing to fight the United States Army out there.
Them niggas ain't own country, man.
Yep.
Hey, you might as well say it, man.
Man, I was just out there, man. They didn't own. It was cool, but they didn't own country for real. They ain't even bothered with. They don't want niggas in Texas don't want to leave Texas.
Nope.
They like, hey, all my shit is here. You know, but they like that for real.
They have a Texas Pledge of Allegiance.
Yep.
They really separate themselves like their own place.
Yeah.
Hey, in the days, that's what Esau gonna have to fight against Esau, because there's plenty of Edomites out there like that.
Yep.
These colors don't run, brother.
Yep.
Right?
Hey,
Ultra-American ones, man.
Just like
The Constitution, brother. You gotta hold down the Constitution, brother. Them gung-ho Edomites over there in the South, the white folks in the South, man, they ain't playing around when it comes to this shit.
Nope.
You ain't going out there taking their guns. You ain't going
Hell
out there
no.
push
They'll
laws
say off my cold dead hands.
shit out there, man.
Shit, I'll throw away this Bud Light right now, kick your ass, buddy.
Put down his Coors.
And a lot of, and you can already kind of see that they divided as hell, because I remember watching a video where they went to go get they went to go arrest this police chief, and he was I forget what type of police they were, but they went to go arrest this police chief. This is cops trying to arrest cops, and the cop that they was trying to arrest, his cops was trying to prevent them from arresting him. And if he didn't say, you know what, just stand back, God, go ahead and go with them, they would have fought the other cops to protect him, man. That goes back to what? The Roman Empire, man. When the generals and the soldiers was gone for so long, the soldiers would look at the general as king and not the king that was in Rome.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in America. When you have a chief that's among these police officers for so long, you got to understand, these chiefs, they be doing a lot of shit for these cops. You know, when these cops commit something illegal, he thinks of a plan to try to put it under the rug. So when he's doing so much for these cops, they'll rather be on his side
They loyal to
than
him.
be towards the law, man. So this place is already separated. It's already separated.
That's why they say how loyal is a hungry dog, man. You know,
Right.
you feeding your dog, that motherfucker, if the chief is feeding the cops, they're gonna be loyal. But if the leaders of the state not feeding or whatever, that's higher than the chief not feeding them, they fuck you. I'm going with the chief.
That's why you have,
Because-
there's been two whole police departments that resigned. The entire police departments that
when the
resigned.
Chiefs- when the
There was
Chiefs
one out
left,
here
yeah.
too.
I remember, it's like, yeah.
There was one out here that did it too. There's a whole police department out here in Arizona that did the same shit. Walked out, said, nope. And why do you think that is? Because when they go to those meetings about how to do their job, they see that how they want them to do it produces no result, and then they got to deal with far more scrutiny, and then nobody's backing them up. So what do they say? You know what? Fuck it. This job ain't worth it. We'll see how y'all do without us.
Because they don't feel like they're being helped or protected. You know, when for an example, when you work at a business, you don't, a lot of times you don't deal directly with the manager, or you don't deal directly with the owners or that owns the businesses. So they don't give a fuck about you. That's why it's so easy for them to fire you. So a lot of times you'll be more on the side of the person that you're dealing with the most. That's why if you notice, like if you worked at a warehouse or some shit like that, you'll notice that the workers are actually create friendships with the supervisors and shit, because the supervisors are more close to the workers than the managers or the owners and shit. So what will happen when they try to look for help, they're not looking for help from the manager, they're looking for help from the supervisor. So the supervisor up in there trying to compromise with the manager to save their jobs. So it's all the same shit. You don't even know, but there's division within the company, and a lot of people don't see that already. They don't see that. So it's no different with the police force. It's division among the police force. Shit, really, man, if you look at the police, if you are cops that's in fucking let's say you got cops in Goodyear and you got cops in Glendale. The cops in Goodyear and the cops in Glendale's not gonna get along, man. They really don't get along. They're like, hey, look, y'all belong over there, we over here, that's it. If they was to meet up somewhere, they get into arguments and shit. There's a bunch of videos on shit like that.
Yeah,
man.
talking about you out of your jurisdiction.
You're out of your jurisdiction, buddy.
Yep.
They should be partners in crime. They shouldn't give a fuck about that.
Mm-hmm. Ain't y'all working for the same cause?
Hey, get out of here, hey. Get out of here, motherfucker. You don't belong here. But that's how they are towards each other. It's nothing but, these people talk about coming together, but there's nothing but division. Fuck, somebody rubbing a window or something?
No, it sounds like a hawk or
But
something.
there's nothing but division.
Huh?
Maybe they're trying to unscrew so they can jump.
Oh yeah, I want to see that.
But there's nothing but division in the U.S.
Oh, that's a hawk up there.
Yeah, I was saying it's a hawk or something making that noise, calling. He about to tear up a pigeon.
Hey, well, look at your Christians, man. Your Christians call themselves so holy, but when a homeless man asks them for money, they ain't got it.
Mm-hmm. Knowing they got it. Lying ass. Your suit look way too nice for you not to have no money.
This is scripture. Rock.
Lying
Tells
ass.
you a friend offended, it's hard to gain back, and that's what's happening in these police departments. They offended the people that they fucking worked with, and now they just turn it against each other. Right? It's beautiful, man. This is prophecy, bro.
Like the scripture say, if Satan be divided against Satan, how can his kingdom stand?
Mm-hmm.
This place is divided, it's breaking down more and more.
Egyptian
every day,
against
man.
Egyptian.
I'm glad it's still glad that
Comes from the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1. And so it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand, and they covet fields and take them by violence.
So he's got into covetousness. They covet fields and take them by violence. Who does that? Esau.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You covet fields and you take them by violence. Man. Right? But what they just do in Maui? Right? That, nigga, we burn this shit up and we want to get the real estate for cheap.
Yep.
Because when it's war in the city, when it's blood in the streets, things become cheap, man. And that's always been a play, man.
What's that MO?
That's what it is. That's why Scripture said, never trust thine enemy, for it's iron rusted. So it's wickedness. When you, like I was telling my woman, man, the other day, because she's so surprised how evil white people were, because I brought it to her realization. I'm like, just think about this, think about that. She's like, damn. She started thinking about healthcare and all that. She started telling me shit on how they get down in the healthcare business and all that. And I'm like, so-called these Edomites, right? Because we don't look at color, man. It's really about your spirit. But these Edomites who are actually Edomites, right? They don't have a God. They don't have the same morals and principles that we do. But they'll put on the front that they have the morals and principles that we do for gain. That's why they don't keep their word at the end of something. That's why when you sign contract, as Kanye, what happened to him when he signed contracts with these Amalekites? What happened? They said, oh. He said, y'all can't take my money if shit go left. The first thing they did was what? This nigga went from a billionaire to a millionaire in 24 hours.
Yeah. Ain't no child support.
Come on, man. And they got that type of power, but they supposed to be the people of the Lord?
Right.
Nigga, please. Right? And it's because what he said in the interview, what you said, not what you did, what you said about these people, man. And they made you from a billionaire to a millionaire. But you're when we tell you why you're so dumb is because you're doing things behind closed doors with the enemy as if this is not your fucking enemy.
And what you don't know, man, they could turn Kanye West from a millionaire to a thousandaire.
From $1,000
Yep.
to a nigga with $100.
All they gotta do is cause a system error in the bank, and all his money is gone.
Yep.
That's all they have to do. They could do that to billionaires and millionaires. All they gotta do is cause an error, and then they could blame Japan for it, and say Japan tried to do a cyber attack. And got into the bank system and crashed the bank system, and now we can't find your money. Oh, well, isn't it protected by insurance? Well, $250,000 is, and that's it. Now your ass will be turned from a millionaire to a thousandaire. They have the power to do that, man. Hey, you niggas with money, man, you ain't got no control. You ain't nothing but a fucking nigga, man. You better get that shit clear. You better get it straight. You motherfuckers with money, you ain't nothing but a nigga to them. You ain't nothing but a nigga with money. And that money don't mean shit. They giving paper money like that to the nations. And we talking about powerful nations. We talking about Russia and China, motherfucker. Yo, what the fuck are you? You ain't nothing but a rapping ass nigga with money. You niggas ain't nothing, man. Esau could shut you niggas down whenever the fuck they want to, man.
He said, back to the ghetto you go.
I hope the Cougar Monkers pay good. If they don't, back to the ghetto you go.
We can't get that Bentley off a layaway.
I like that, right?
Right.
That Jay-Z song, Story of OJ.
Yeah,
It's
still
like rich
nigga.
niggas, still niggas,
Niggas
man.
still
Still
niggas.
Not
nigga,
black
man.
or more.
OJ,
See, the smartest shit
okay.
he did, man.
Still a nigga.
On the nigga side, man, the smartest shit he did was the Wyoming thing, man. You know, but they don't want to see you do that either. Because if it comes to them, to where they want that land, that whole, all that shit you bought in Wyoming, they'll take it, man.
They'll take it.
Because you niggas, how can you protect yourself?
I told this Native American that at work. He was like, yeah, I own land and I own houses.
No, you don't.
I said, you don't own shit. I said, what are you talking about own? He was like, yeah, I own land. I said, you don't own shit. I said, if the white man, I told him just like this, if a white man wanted to take that shit, he'll take that shit. Be nothing you can do.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your great grandpa.
Yeah, you learn that in tech.
And the crazy thing is, I brought that up to him too.
Raindrop.
Because I told him, I said, what you think you own, you don't own. I said, that land ain't yours. They took that land. I said, then they told you can keep it for now.
Yeah, you borrowing.
Borrowing it. I said it's no different than what they used to do in the ancient world, like the Romans, when they told a general, you know what, you can have this land, all the work and hard work you put into, we're gonna give it to you, and then they turn around and come and take it because they know they can profit off of it. Look, you're gonna have no choice but to give it up, and then if he didn't want to give it up, what would they do? They'll kill him, man.
Hey, this dude in Carolina, bro. I saw a video yesterday. It's not an old white dude, but he probably like 40. In Carolina, he was digging, trying to put a post up in his backyard and hit some oil, man. And his house is on oil. And he was like, it was a bunch of oil too. And he was digging his finger, and like, oh shit, I just hit the lottery. We'll do. I'm on the phone, and then I look in the comments. They was like, man, check on this man. He ain't dead. Like, he ain't dead. He just mysteriously went missing. He ain't dead. Like,
He
you know
gone.
what I'm saying? Because they want that shit. Nigga, we ain't paying you nothing. They bullies, man. We ain't paying you nothing, go ahead.
Well, the first thing they'll tell you is this: you think you own land, but do you own the mineral rights?
Shit, man.
The mineral rights is what? The dirt, the oil, and everything
all that.
beneath. So
That's
they
why
say,
you
guess
pay-
what? We take you right off
That's
of it.
why you pay land tax, nigga. You pay land tax because you don't own shit, man.
There you
You
go.
don't own a damn thing. I don't give a fuck if you get a FPL, MPL, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You don't own shit in America.
It's a goddamn rent center. That's
Right?
it.
You rent everything.
You rent.
Everything you got, you rent.
It's modern day sharecropping.
You got it until they want it.
Yep.
Once they want it, it's a wrap.
Yep.
Ain't nothing they gonna come bully you. And then what you gonna do? You gonna try to use their rules against them? No, nigga. Because
What?
Jake think he got power because of the law that was given to you, nigga. But the law that was given to you was through mass bloodshed. You niggas ain't bust the grape, man.
And the laws weren't even given to you, nigga.
Correct.
The laws really only apply to so-called white people.
Yeah.
The laws ain't given to you, man. They didn't want you niggas having laws. But in order to make more money off you niggas, they have to make you think that the law. They have to make you think that you were under the law. You niggas ain't under no damn law, man. They don't give a fuck about you niggas. They still believe that you 3/5 of a person.
about to say that.
Fuck you talking about? They still think you a fucking animal. And guess what? You proving it every motherfucking day. You niggas ain't nothing but animals and beasts to these Edomites, man. Fuck you think you own
Useless
something.
eaters.
You ain't nothing. They use your ass for a profit, and they'll get rid of you stupid ass niggas. You niggas be up in these businesses thinking you something. You ain't fucking nothing, man. I remember I used to work for this company, Harmon Electric, right? And my back was hurting. So the manager, which was a Jake, he called some fucking insurance company that brought up some dudes for my back, and then he was putting an ice pack on it, man. And he was talking to the white dude because they were both soldiers and shit. Man, if you seen the expression on this white dude's face, he didn't give a fuck about what that nigga had to say. And when I saw him, when I went up in the office and I saw this white dude, I could tell he hated niggas, man. I could see it in his expression. I could see it on his face. I could tell he hated niggas. And then this nigga, just because he was in the army, he think this white dude liked him. Oh man, I was in the army too, man. I was this thing. He's sitting there talking to a white dude. The white dude, he putting the shit on my back and shit like that. He's like, all right, yeah, all right. Then he walked the fuck out, man. Like these motherfuckers don't give a fucking. See, this is what's wrong with Jake, man. You niggas think these white people like you, man. You think these Edomites care about you. These motherfuckers don't like you, man. They hate the fact that they gotta deal with you niggas in America, man. They want you niggas out. There ain't no equality here, man. I don't understand why you niggas, you niggas are the only ones that don't get it. You niggas are the only ones that don't get it, man.
They gonna get in Jeremiah 37.
They don't like you niggas, man. You niggas get into some type of position. See, and that's why we brought up earlier. A gift destroyeth the heart. You get into some type of position at a job and think you doing it, man. You think you A-okay, man. Well, hey, won't you go back to the time of Joseph, when Joseph was in a power of position in Egypt? Yep. What happened to his people afterwards when a new Pharaoh came up? He enslaved all of Joseph's people.
Yep.
Hey, he didn't give a damn about Joseph.
Said he didn't know him.
He said, I'm gonna enslave all this nigga people, man. You niggas think you get into a position and all of a sudden you equal with these devils. You out of your motherfucking mind, man.
You go back to that account too. For that, when they were coming into the land and they were giving them land of Goshen, they said for those sheep, sheep herders were considered to be cursed in Egypt. So they already didn't fuck with him from the jump. It's just that they suppressed it because he was cool with the king. Fucking niggas. Simple ass niggas. Get that one for that brother, man.
Come. This is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
Hey, these devils will always hate you, man. These niggas think if they put President Trump in the power, things are gonna change for them. When things have ever changed for you niggas, man? You niggas are still in the same position. Hey, look, these devils said, look, if we find a smart nigga, we could put him in a good place and we could keep that nigga there so he don't help his people, man. Why don't you niggas understand that, man? These people ain't for y'all, man. They don't like you motherfuckers. They sit at they dinner tables talking shit.
I seen a video on
that. And
that.
the only reason why they getting revealed is because of these cameras. Niggas forget that they be cameras around them. And then they sit up there talking shit about you niggas, and then the cameras are there. Some dumb motherfucker who wanted a million views on YouTube ends up putting the damn video out about somebody in the family member talking shit about black people. You stupid ass niggas think they on your side. You sit in court thinking this devil is for you, man. You out of your damn mind. How many judges they had to investigate to find out these motherfuckers hated black people, giving them unruly ass sentences, man? Like, damn, like he gave this motherfucker 150 years
Double life? How you gonna
on some crazy shit. Why? And then they find out when they do an investigation. That he was a damn racist, man. They find all type of pictures and shit of him not liking niggas, videos of him not liking niggas. Come on, man. Y'all crazy as hell, man.
All different accounts too of our people being, pretty much like George Steiny Jr. for example, man. He's one of the youngest boys to be put, on an electric chair, man.
Yeah, I read about that, yeah.
And they put him on there with no evidence, man. He didn't even do nothing. You see, but that's Esau for you, going all the way back to the story of Genesis concerning the story of Esau and Jacob, man.
Yeah, but slavery didn't exist.
Hey, then I think they found the dudes that actually committed the murder, man.
Yep.
And they still put his ass to death, and there was no justice on them putting him to death.
No
because why? He was a nigga, man.
Yeah.
He was a nigga. They found the guys that actually did it, but since he was a nigga, nobody cared.
Hey,
and then because niggas are so ununified, that niggas wasn't gonna stand up and say, we need to pass. You ain't do nothing about it. That little dude died and he ain't even do nothing. He was a so-called innocent boy who got electrocuted, man. Electrocuted. This ain't no Green Mile, man. I was a little fucking boy. that had to sit up there and get electrocuted for a crime he never did.
And they said that he was so small to fit in the electric chair. They had to stack books under him so he could sit on
Yeah.
it.
And they still did that shit, man. And a perpetual hatred, man. Come on, man. You niggas want to, hey, listen. You niggas want to be team up with that? But scripture say what? Though hands join the hand, the wicked shall not
Think
go
about that.
unpunished, man.
Yep.
Let's finish that.
For them shall be thrusted through.
Ezekiel 35 and verse 11.
And just because a white woman gave birth to you doesn't mean she ain't racist, nigga. Hey, because there's many videos out there of these white women getting with black dudes and still be calling you some bunch of niggers, man. Think
Yep.
about that.
She's one of her socks knocked off for the first time in her life. Like that movie Mandingo. You don't think that girl was racist that had that baby with Mandingo? Right? Nah, man, she was. But what? She was fulfilling her lust. Right? She went out to the field, saw how built he was.
Big this black dude is, and she
Her husband left.
get it in.
Yeah.
Probably had that hole in his fucking pants. You know they didn't give him no fucking clothes but once a year.
Yeah.
So he had that hole in his pants. She saw that little shine through it. Oh my!
Oh my God!
Hey, you little nigga, you come to
I
my
really have to try this out.
come to my quarters at 9 o'clock tonight. That nigga was yussum.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
But the scriptures tell you in the book of Sirach, it says, he would draw you thrice. He would draw you dry twice or thrice. These devils are only going to use you for what they want, man. They're going to get what they need out of you, man.
And it ain't like back in the day, man. Them Jakes, you know, was with these white women that want them, and they was sitting there beating the guts out of the white woman. She would have his ass lay there,
Yep.
and he had to lay straight because she didn't want to feel like he had no authority over her.
So keep your nigger hands off.
You keep your nigger hands
You
off.
can't even
All
imagine.
I want is that. That's it. You keep your nigger hands off me.
Nigga think you coming on, bitch.
You're going inside you.
Keep my hands off you, but I am inside you.
Oh, yeah. I am in your insides.
You at least a quarter nigga, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are getting stabbed, bitch.
Yeah.
You are getting,
You getting fucked, but you don't want my hands on you.
my hands do less damage
Crazy
than what
as
this.
hell.
What this about to do?
Hey, it was like man, what was that movie called, man? But it was two Jake. It was Eve and Jake, and she wanted something from Jake, and what she said, she was like, no, just keep your hands to the side, keep your hand. I'll do the work. The shit crazy as hell, man. I forget what movie that was.
I think that shit was probably going on a lot back then.
Yeah.
They would sleep with Jake like that.
Hell yeah. You know they were.
There's a show called
Yeah, babies by Jake like that.
Yeah.
They was on that shit all the time.
They would just hide it. They would just go away from it.
That's why a lot of so-called white women was buying up big ass Jakes
Yep.
to get their fetish on.
And every time they would go up and check his shit. That was the
That's in the
practice for
movie.
all.
That's in the
Yeah.
That was
They're
that
going
was
there.
the practice for all slaves because they would look at him and be like, the male slave had a big rod and shit. They would be like, all right, he's gonna be able to have me a bunch of slaves.
Yeah, he a
The
bull.
Woman, she was, yeah, you come with me. That's all it was. But there's a show called Boardwalk Empire. It's about the Prohibition era, and there's this dude in there, disrespectful nigga, man. But he talks to this one Edomite chick when he knows she has a husband, and he goes and meets her to her room, and her husband's sitting there on the chair with a gun, like, yeah, go ahead and do it. And he basically cuts him out. And that's what Esau always did, that shit.
And a lot of times, man, these Jakes that had to be forced to, get it in with the white woman, them bitches wasn't no pretty bitches. Man. They weren't no top of the notch so-called white woman.
Came in there dirty as
They
hell.
were some dirty, nasty ass Edomite fucking women. That was
Negro spirituals right under the bitch.
hey, that was getting pregnant and shit. And that's why you had. That's another reason why there was a lot of so-called mixed kids within.
That's the parable of the wheat.
Yeah.
Wheat and
Wheat and
tares.
tares.
Who had sowed these? I thought you bought good seed, master. Who had sowed these tares among the wheat?
There's
It was a wicked one.
Yeah, there was a TV show where this dude wanted to marry a so-called white woman, but his mother, the mother don't mean nothing. It's really the father. But in the show, the mother was a so-called black woman, and who got her pregnant was her slave master, which was a so-called white man. And when he grew up and tried to marry a so-called white woman, they refused to let him marry her because they said he was like 50 or 60% black, but the dude looks white than a motherfucker. But that's who he was. He was a so-called white man because his dad was white.
Yeah.
But because of his dad, did it with a so-called black woman, they wanted no parts of him marrying a so-called white woman.
Well, also too, when you go back into that time when them women were messing with Jake like that, what would they call rape?
Yeah.
They would do a lot of that, and Jake would be hanging in trees when them women were getting caught by their husbands.
Yeah,
he raped me. He came and raped me.
Like a nigga would come and rape me, but a nigga would come and slice the slave master throat open.
And the crazy,
but a nigga come and rape you.
And the crazy thing is, the husband would know that she did it. The husband would know because they knew how obedient the slaves were. So and the master knew in order for the slave to get inside of the house, he would need authority to get in there. So he knew that the wife ended up letting the slave into the house to have, sexual intercourse to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the shame and guilt of his wife having sex with a nigga,
Mm-hmm.
he'll put the nigga to death.
Yep.
And still keep his wife.
Yep.
Because a lot of times they had what you would call fortune within the family and shit. The fortune would come from her father or however the fuck that would happen. So he would want to stay married to him to her due to the fortune that was within that family.
Yeah, Betty June be getting some hella side on that day.
But what would happen is that what would usually happen when a man find out his wife
Kill her.
have cheated, he will start fucking her.
Mm-hmm.
He will start fucking her. He'll go fuck a slave. He'll start fucking a slave.
But also too, when you think about too, a lot of times when Edomites were going into the Judite woman, that Edomite woman didn't like that too often. What he would do to them women, and they remembered. I think they would go and the Edomite woman would go beat up the Judite for her husband sleeping with him and getting her pregnant, and the things that they would do upon that note also.
Let's finish that up.
Yeah, come on. This is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh, I will prepare unto thee blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Yeah, and they live like it. Right? They live like it. Like you do the history on a so-called white man. This man loves blood, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. But that was one of his so-called attributes when you read Genesis 25, man.
Sword.
He was a man of the field. His blessing was a sword, man. And the fatness of the earth. That's why he lives in the best parts of the city, right? That's why scriptures say what? He speaks lawfully concerning oppression, right? They don't understand it, but scriptures also say that the cup shall also pass unto him as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and they're going to drink up that cup, okay? Because this motherfucker done did a number, man. Let's grab that.
Malachi or Malachi?
Yeah, it was Malachi 2.
Malachi 2:1. It says, verse 2.
Start out with Michael. Whatever, Malachi, I think, yeah. Let's start at the first. No, it was Michael. 1 and 2.
Micah 2 and 2. Micah 2:1. I'll just start there. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. It says, therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, against his family will I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for it is evil. For this time is evil.
So two was the point. So that's what they do. That's how they get down, man. They've always been that way. It's in their. That's like, and they don't feel like that they're wrong for doing it. They had a thing called manifest destiny, right? Which in their mind gave them permission to do the shit that they were doing.
That they hold themselves not guilty.
Right. But in this time, that charge is going to be laid unto you, right? Because you did wicked shit. Like it says in Zechariah, you helped forth the affliction. Okay, right? Let's grab that up.
Con, this is Psalm chapter 49 and verse 11. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
That's the inward thought. Give me a Malachi 1 and 4. Yeah, that's their inward thought, that the house shall continue forever. Go ahead.
Con, it says, and their dwelling places to all generations.
Yep.
They call their lands after their own names.
You got America, you got Africa, right? You got these different lands that's called after last names or names of these heathen, right? Go ahead. Is that it on that, or some more?
That was it.
That was it on that? Yeah, man, that's how they get down, right? But in due time, and not just the lands that they call after their names, right? These months they call after gods that they worship. These days they call after gods that they worship. But these are the same people that tell you God don't exist, right? That's bullshit. But they're a deceiver, man. They deceive you, and you'll be a fool to trust them. You'll be a fool to do business with them. You'll be a fool to listen to them, right? Because here it is. You got the so-called white man. He'll tell you, he'll give you the scriptures to tell you what's about him for profit and for money, not showing you that he don't fear the Lord, man. He don't care about the Lord. He don't care, man. But he will use, just like in slavery, what they use the Bible for, to keep us in subjection, right? Control, keep us serve your masters, shit like that, right? But he would take things out the scriptures too, right? Showing you that he don't fear the Lord, man. His rules is not like our rules. He's made to be wicked.
That's why the Lord said, "You be as though you wipe the looking glass clean." You'll see that all of his rust had not been
all wiped away.
That wickedness is still up in him.
It says, "Can a leper change his spots?"
No.
You know, can a man that's subject to do wicked be righteous? No. You know,
What's made crooked made straight?
nope. Go ahead with your pre, then we'll grab this now switch.
Con, this is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 and verse 1. It says, hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand, learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, you that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest. Which, the Lord set Esau up, as a power in the earth. But you understand that power is starting to wane, man. Right? It says, for power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsels. Because being ministers of his kingdom, you have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of the Most High. And that's why when you read Job, the 21st chapter, where it pretty much goes into the wicked and their mindset concerning how they say, what shall it profit us, to have the knowledge of the Lord? What shall it profit us to pray unto him and to serve him? That's the mentality of Esau Edom, right? Because he ultimately believes that he's above the Most High. The Most High is telling you in this chapter, right, in that particular verse, that because he has not walked right in the ways of the Lord and implemented his law, statutes, and commandments, the Lord has a controversy, man. Right? The Lord is going to ultimately deal judgment here soon upon this devil. So he has not judged it right.
Also, too. Let me grab this because I did a little research on going back to what we was talking about with these so-called white women and black slaves. It says why these women choose to sexually abuse slaves probably varied by situation. Perhaps some of them were simply bored or sexually frustrated. It is possible that sexual exploitation of slaves by women who had little power in relation to white men was a source of enjoyment that created a feeling of power.
Man.
So they did it just out of the prospects of wanting to feel empowered, man. That's it. They wanted, see, that equality type of mindset was already created back then, because they wanted that same. Because back then they restricted so-called white women from having sex with black slaves because they didn't want the whole mixed race thing. But they knew that it was always going to be a possibility, and because they didn't have the technology then for abortions and shit like that, that's another reason why you have a lot of you so-called mixed kids out today. So a lot of you motherfuckers that's out there mixed, you are you are a child of an ancestor who is more likely raped.
Now going back to what the brother was saying too about Esau Edom, in his complex. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. It shows that he don't believe in Yahweh Bashmal Shah, who opposeth and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So that's exactly how Esau Edom is. He don't believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He believes he's the God. And technically, he is the God of this place. Job 9:24, for the earth was given to the hands of the wicked. So he could, yeah, he's the God of this wicked era. This time.
This is from the book of Malachi 1, chapter 1 and verse 4, and it says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh.
What were places that they built in? When you look about the Renaissance era, right? That's when Esau really started getting the house. Before that, you had the Moors running Europe. You know, Esau really. It was documents that came out about Esau not. It was crazy. I was dealing with a so-called white woman at the time, and she sent me the article of how the Moors helped Edomites get clean, man. As far as like having them, showing them the correct way to bathe and all that shit. She's important. She sent me that. It's like, dang, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and it goes to show you that you the motherfuckers that wasn't civilized. You was always civilized, man. But they'll paint a picture like, oh, well, slavery was good for the so-called black man because we showed them how to do it. Nigga, we created the cotton gin.
According to them, you know, we was in Africa throwing shit at each other.
Man, that was Hamites.
And then when you
Getting pissed on by
you
cows.
look up, I forget what the book is called. I think it's called African something. I forget what it's called, but the book actually tells you that during times like that, we had built many civilized buildings and living quarters, like all that in Africa. So for them to say something like that, man, it's just them trying to tell you that, oh, you know, niggas wasn't nothing but monkeys climbing in trees and shit like that. Nah, hell no. We built a whole civilization in fucking Africa, man.
You niggas live like it, man. You niggas live like, cause I got you. Are you subject to what they told you that you were? But if you realize who the fuck you actually were, you will walk around with a little bit more fucking integrity. Right, you will walk around like, man, I'm not dumb. I didn't just get educated. No, we've been educated, motherfucker. How you think we was able to advance this? Well, it's the Lord, but how you think we coming out at those goots wasn't slavery, man? Them motherfuckers would be retarded to this day, right? At them Elamites wasn't slavery, they'll be retarded to this day. If the so-called white man went through what we went through, he wouldn't be civilized to this fucking day.
If he was so great, why didn't he need us? Right. When we built the temple,
Come on,
that
man.
was Israelites' hands.
Read between the lines, man.
That was an Edomite hands that built the temple. We didn't have any input on any heathen help in building the temple of the Lord. So if Esau's so great, why does he need our help to build this shit up?
If Esau's so great, why did he keep Jake from books?
Yep. And then
If Esau's so great, you really have to explain that. Why did he keep Jake from books?
Yep. And then the time, like the bathing stuff, right? Jake taught him how to bathe, and then give it an extra like 700 years, 800 years here in the Victorian era, where they started coming up with heated bathtubs, and it was basically you had a gas light under the tub. These motherfuckers would go in the tub, and it was the frogs in a boiling pot of water scenario. They would be in there with the fucking heat on it, and then it turn it off to where there's a bunch of people boiling themselves to death. And this was Edomites.
Dumbass, like the water. You couldn't
Dumbass
fill the water hot,
motherfuckers, man.
You know, going back.
You didn't figure out that the water at some point is gonna be hot enough to cook your food in you.
Boil them motherfuckers. You about to boil them.
Niggas in there. Ooh, yeah. Because at a certain point, your muscles will stop working when they get that hot. So they can't even move. Their throats probably fucking gave up and they couldn't fucking scream out. So they just have to sit there and cook.
Boil up and die.
And that's a stupid ass move. If you ask me, that's a stupid ass move. To sit in a tub with
boil.
a fire under it and no mindset to fucking turn the motherfucker off.
How hot do you want the water?
What are you trying to do?
I'm making ass soup today.
Like even when you make news, you gotta eventually
Skin peeling
turn the
on.
water off.
For real.
Damn.
Go ahead.
No, you know, you think about it, all the 12 tribes, if you go back into the Mayans, you go back into all of Israel, you realize they always built, aqueducts, toilets, and all kind of things, where they had always running water running up under to push out poop and pee, and, irrigation. They had all that. You know, when they come back into it, you know, when you go to Esau, you notice that he didn't have any of that. He was bathing in dirt.
Hey, the Gadites, man, they had a system for their plants that was so cold, bro. Like, they had like an island of where their systems were. I saw a picture of it, man, and it was kind of explaining it. But it was just different pods of different like vegetation that they would have, and they would be like, they have their own little man-made islands, man. So where they'll go to each different pod for different vegetation and stuff like that, man. And Esau came over here, and who'd you have to get instruction from? You had to get instruction from Gad.
Yep.
You had to get instruction from Gad, man.
Without Gad, they would have been dead. Them winners would have came. That'd have been it.
Man. You had to get instruction. And then what you do, you turn around and bite them in the back.
Yep.
Stab them in the back. That's what you did. That's what it is. And it's just evidence. And you're still doing it to this day. If the so-called white man really, or the Edomite really wants something, he's going to get it by any means, man. With no, and you might say, oh, well, that's not right. He don't give a fuck about right or wrong.
Nope.
That's what people don't realize. This motherfucker don't give a fuck about right or wrong. He don't care, man. That's not his MO. He don't give a fuck about right or wrong. He had the so-called white man where I used to work who ran the place, and he was like, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? It's like, damn, nigga, I can't get money and be right.
I can't be both.
Yeah, God damn, but it goes, and he meant that shit. You want to be right or you want to be rich? Like, damn, so we got a lot of people, but you don't think that shit come back around and slap you upside the head, motherfucker? But he don't believe in him. He think he little. He think he God, man. You know?
Yeah.
He think he God, man. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 47, verse 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me.
Yeah, you said in your heart that you are and no one else beside you. Right? So that's why you want to CHIP everybody. Because you think that you are power. Right? But the Lord is hardening your heart just like he did Pharaoh's.
Mm-hmm.
Just to show you that you're nothing, man. You're nothing. You're actually the basis of man. That's why it's gonna get so bad to where we're gonna be like, this is the man. Like the scripture say, this is the man that did that shit. This is the man. This motherfucker walking on all fours and grunting and shit. Bro, they had donkey language, man.
Yeah.
Like, really think about it, man. They were grunting and shit, right?
Yeah, grunting about
they were dirty. They didn't have civilization until Jake. They needed Jake for that. And if they, like the brother said, that they didn't need Jake, why they come get us? Why they come get us from the west coast of Africa and Europe and all that? Why they come get us, man, if they ain't need us?
Yeah, because they don't. You see that in their neighborhoods. They still have laws in place to where if somebody in their neighborhood sells their house to a black person, they can be subject to a lawsuit. They still have laws in place where that shit's still legal. So they don't want you around them. So this devil really needed you. Really fucking needed you. And he went out of his way to come get you. He went from one end of the earth to the other.
You know how long that travel take, bro? You know how long it take to get from fucking the boat back then? Using wind and whatever the fuck they was using. They ain't had no engines like that, man.
Yeah, you really gotta wonder for him to do something like that. Why didn't he just use? You gotta think about it. Why didn't he just use the Hispanics and Native Americans? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he use the head of the tribe? Why did he have to use Benjamin and Levi, Judah, Benjamin and Levi over here to do these things? Because this devil knew the capabilities that the head tribes had. He knew that, look, these motherfuckers are much darker, they much stronger than the last, right? And they also are very inventive. Even when we was in slavery, we invented a lot of shit. Food, the different seasonings, cotton, right, all that shit. We was doing all that shit in slavery, man.
Hey, like how Jake do tattoos in jail.
Yup.
All right, I was watching a video on that shit. I'm like, damn, they order a CD player, they get the engine out the CD player, go get a guitar string, cut the guitar string, empty a pen, put it in a pen, they use the engine from the CD player to poke into the skin, and then how they get the ink and something. I'm like, what the fuck? What they do? They burn shit, a bunch of shit in a thing, and they use a cardboard box to collect the smoke, and the smoke piles, the soot piles up.
Jake be at his best and his worst.
Yeah, because when Jake finally sit down and fucking think, then he like, oh shit. Just like in that movie, they cloned Tyrone. At the end, Jake sat down and fucking thought, like,
That's
oh
why
shit.
This devil didn't want Jake reading books.
Yep.
This is why he didn't want Jake being smart, because he knew Jake can outsmart him.
Yeah.
It's just like there was one movie with this black kid who started going to an all-white school, and white lady, she was mad. She was like, how are you letting this nigger be smarter than y'all? He was smarter than the whole damn class, man.
That's y'all own shit.
He even went to the spelling bee, man, and beat them at their own shit, man. So how is this possible? It was always possible. Jake have always been better than you devils, man. And Esau knows it. That's why he got to keep you niggas at the lowest estate that he possibly can. Because he knows the minute that you rise up, you could take anything you want to. It's like they call if you watch the Star Wars series called the Mandalorians, man. They said when the Mandalorians come together, this is the way, which is in the Bible. And when the Mandalorians come together, they are an unstoppable force, man. When if Jake come together, you cannot stop him, man.
Yeah, and it only makes sense too that the smart ones they get a hold of and make it like them, because you see that in the movie they clone Tyrone. Because who's the main clone based off of? The Jake that came up with the sequence to be able to clone him like that. And why did they use him instead of using their own people? Because he was the brightest mind they could find. He was the only one that could come up with
do it. He was the only one that can clone people.
Yeah.
He was the only one that had the capabilities of doing it.
And then the forms, all the clones of him are him if he never got in touch with Edomites.
Yeah.
Right? So imagine if he, instead of him being in touch with Edomites, and they just put him in a setting where he was just being educated on math and science, he would have had a whole different thought process. And the thought process to clone everybody to fuck his own people up.
Hey, even better than that, if Esau knows that Jake is smart as fuck, if you was to put a Jake like that who was on the side of black people in the military, and you put him in computer engineering, and he was to break into the system, he'd take this shit, because now he will have nuclear capabilities, man. So they don't need Jake. When they have Jake, they want Jake at a fucking level, man.
Yeah.
They don't want Jake no higher than that, because they know Jake can take over, man. Last thing you need is Jake who's on the side of so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to be on there with his hand on a nuclear missile, man.
Whoa, Jamal.
Put the button down.
Let's talk about this reparation.
Talk about the reparations.
How can you fight up? The only way you can fight up against people like that, you gotta have the Most High on your side, man. How do you fight up against people that are that fucking smart? The majority of the shit you see in America today was invented by a black person. Just imagine that.
And if it wasn't invented by the black man, it was invented by the Northern Kingdom. The Northern Kingdom got a shit ton of inventions too, man. They bro, oh my gosh.
How you think God was doing it, man?
I mean, Gad's the one who came up with jeans. The fabric for jeans, that's why they have jean jackets and shit back in the fucking 50s and 60s. Gad's the one that came up with that. And it revolutionized the fucking jean industry. And it brought that shit back to life, because at one point it was about to crash.
So you need us. You need us.
Everywhere.
Yeah, we just don't need them.
It was always.
Yeah, we don't need y'all, man. That's why
We don't need them.
We're saying Obadiah. Right? It says, well, it should be no more remainder of the house of Esau.
House of Esau,
Jake
exterminated.
Jake was to try to leave the U.S., man. They would literally make it impossible for you to leave.
All y'all leaving?
I know.
Wait,
All y'all niggas leaving?
Wait. Close the borders.
Yeah. Well, I was watching the video with Apostle Gabar last night. He was talking about how a Jake that left the States, he lived in Houston, left the States, and he had to come back because some shit popped off in Brazil and he couldn't go back. And he said he felt fucking depressed when he got back to the States. And he told his mom, when I leave again, I'm never coming back. He ended up saying that now many people are leaving the States and renouncing their citizenships, that now they're charging them $5,000 per renounce when before it was free.
They're gonna try to find a way to keep you niggas here, man.
Yep. So all you fucking lower level Edomites, you lower level so-called white people, right? And you white bitches and you heathens. When y'all got something to say about Jake, remember that. Go to your higher ups, man. Go to how, because shit, had it been my choice, you wouldn't have been over this motherfucker.
Well, financially speaking, if it wasn't for Jake, America would have been crashed already. Because Jake are your consumers. Jake is the one that's constantly keeping money running in.
That shit, that black
these so-called white people, man, these Edomites, they keeping their money in bank accounts, man.
Yeah, I did a video a minute ago, man, on an article. It's called The Black Dollar. And the so-called black people spend we spend our money. We spend $1 every 5 hours, right? It takes these other nations for 30 to 60 days to spend $1. You niggas want to have nothing. Who you think wearing this designer shit and all this shit, man? Y'all want to have shit. Y'all stores would be open 2 days a week, man.
America would have been crashed already, man.
Fuck out of here.
America would have hit the drain already, man. Cause these Edomites, man, they don't spend money.
Hey.
They keep money. What's keeping these devils rich is so-called black people constantly spending money, man. But America is built. It's an industry. In order to keep an industry running, we brought this up last week. You got to keep money circulating from the store, from the consumers to the stores, to the banks, to whatever, back unto the people again. If you're just taking your money, let me go ahead and take $300 billion of my money that I got, and let me just store that shit in my house. What can you do with it? You can't do nothing with it. Now you know what America have to do is they say we got over $300 billion missing. We got to print that money back out and put it back into the economy.
And that's why they came with this fractional reserve banking. Because the ones that they didn't have no money, the ones that had the money were holding on to it. So they were like, okay, if everybody's holding on to this physical money, nothing's circulating. And people are coming and they want to do good business, they want to get loans. We don't have enough money to move around, so they came up with fractional reserve banking. But they don't even have to have the money. They can only have like 10% of the money in the bank and loan you everything else out, and it's not even there. It's wickedness.
In the book of back in the book of Malachi 1:4, and it says, "Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places."
So yeah, they built their places. Europe, they built America, right? Which really they're not the real Europeans anymore, right? But they built America, right? Go ahead.
Hey, everything they do backfires on them, man. That's why the scripture says you shall fall in your own pit. So yeah, it's cool that you can sit up there and look at all this fucking money and be good, but at the same time, you're affecting the economy. At the same time, you're the one fucking up the economy.
Right. Hey, look, to show you that they need us, Ishmael don't go out and set up stores in Edomite neighborhoods.
Nope.
They go and set up stores in Jake neighborhoods.
Because Edomite isn't about to be inside of an Arab store every day buying drinks, man.
Not at all.
That's not gonna happen.
Not at all.
If they was to set up their store in a so-called white neighborhood, that store it'll fall, man. They will have to get the fuck out of there, man. Because it's Jake that's walking up in these Arab stores saying, "Hey, man, let me get that 40, man. Let me
Y'all
get
treat
that,
Jake like
man.
shit,
Let me
man.
get that."
They treat Jake like shit, man.
Hey, that was a so-called black dude that did an interview. He did a big broadcast. He said, if black people right now stop spending their money, America would crash, man.
Hey, even for one day.
Even one day.
Because they have to pay interest rates every day. It's not like fucking once a month, it's every day.
This is
Hey, y'all, they need to do what the Mexicans did in
Florida.
California, man.
That was Florida when they packed up and they was
Hey, they
gone.
packed up and
They
go.
dropped, they put their stuff in the tour,
said,
and their
"We
trucks
out.
was gone.
We out."
All them houses was just there.
That's what Jake need to do. Jake need to
Yep.
Jake need to stop paying for shit for a day.
Mm-hmm.
Watch how fucked up this economy is.
Watch how they beg you. Watch how the prices drop.
Yeah, come on, niggas.
No.
Man.
Please, where you
Get
at?
back in the stores, nigga. Come buy my chicken.
free drinks at the club.
So you want these Jerry's, nigga?
And hey, just show, and they know that, and they still treat us like shit, man.
It's real chicken.
That's why you had to move. The video came out. Some Jakes went into this restaurant. I think it was in New York, if I'm not mistaken. This Moabite Chinese food restaurant, and they caught a picture of him. It was an article that came out of the owner of this nigga sneaking pictures through the back, selling their ass chicken, man. You know, and they brought the article up to the lady at the camera, and she was the Moabite lady, and she was like, no, okay, I know about it. It was a long time ago. It was like trying to throw it off. You know, like, no, motherfucker, this is what y'all do.
Eating pigeons and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You back there eating pigeons thinking that shit is chicken. They can make that meat look like chicken, man.
Man, they should have.
That's why-
Business should have been no longer.
That's
the
why
reason
you
why
shouldn't
they
be
fried it.
eating. You should be eating from none of these fucking restaurants, especially at these Gooks restaurants, man. Because they feeding you dog. They caught them damn Gooks. They was going around picking up dogs, throwing the dogs in the back of their vehicles, man. Taking them to the restaurant. The dude recorded them, man. He said, look, They taking dogs, man. They feeding us fucking dogs, man. You fucking, I swear, man, sometimes you black people can be the worst, man. Y'all could be the worst motherfuckers in the world, I tell you. Then you niggas will find something out like that, you will still go to the restaurant, man. And eat. You eating a damn dog, man.
You talking about it's fire.
Listen, man, segregation was the best thing that was ever, because we was eating our own restaurant. Listen, when I came back from Dallas, man, I told my godfather, right? I said, listen, man. I said, shit, we need to start going back to black. Like, I agree with that black city thing, man, because every restaurant I ate at was black owned. Customer service was top tier, right? I was getting treated so good, man, that when I go into these Edomite restaurants, it's like, they don't say thank you, they don't say none of that shit.
Hey, well, think about when we walked up in a while back before my injury and shit. When we walked up in Angel's Trumpet. Look how the motherfuckers was looking at us, man.
Oh yeah, they looking at us.
They was looking at us like they hated us, man. I ain't never going back there again. You brothers can. I ain't never going back there.
Yeah, I remember when you said it, we walked in
Fuck
there.
that shit. And we walked up in there, man. That dude was looking at us like he wanted to murder our asses. Like, what these niggas doing here? Even a bartender, man. I'm like, damn, like, what the fucking bartender looking at? Like, we been up in this motherfucker more than you, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
You a newbie, nigga. We been in here longer than you.
The other ones know us. They like,
Every
where
time
y'all
we
been?
get tips, we look tips, and not no small tip either.
Nope.
Like, god damn, like, we was in there, passing some money out.
Man, you had the chef, when I was in Dallas, you had the chef come from the back, man. He was on his break.
Something gonna be in that food.
When I was eating my wings and I got finished eating them and I threw them away, and he was like, man, he's like, did you enjoy it? You sure? Did you like it? I'm like, damn, this shit is tight. I don't get this shit where I'm at. Like, this shit's crazy. And then the breakfast spot we went to, like, everybody was just like, you got some niggas, but everybody was just cordial for the most part, right? And it just showed me how shit, when we want to be civilized,
we can be.
Because they got money. Like, where I was at, Jake's had money, man. Jake's was flourishing. But when we want to be, this shit is way better than being in these motherfucking IHOPs and these Denny's and these brunch places that they own. And
got flavor.
Yeah,
That's the lowest level of how good the kingdom is.
You know, I'm from
that's
Texas.
the lowest level.
I know.
And it was like, that was even better than y'all so-called kingdom that y'all have, man. This shit is bullshit, because how these other nations operate, they operate out of, you owe them something. Bitch, I don't owe you nothing. Right? But how Jake was appreciative. Like, oh man, this is cool, this is beautiful. Like, I was like, Jake was like, man, thank you for coming in here, y'all come back. And they was cool with the shit, man. It was like, damn, but.
What was that?
Texas, Dallas.
Yeah.
Houston's like that too.
Yeah.
Houston,
I heard Houston is more like
Houston's more like that. Especially Issachar and them in San Antonio, they'll feed you.
Bro, I didn't want to leave. I'm like, bro, this shit, I belong. I did not want to leave, bro. I'm like, from the women, everything was
different.
Everything was us. Everything. I mean, you had some niggas too, but everything, for the most part, everything was us and everything was cool. But they'll tell you that niggas can't live, niggas not civilized. Nah, while I was around, Jake was cool. Jake was cool, man. Go ahead.
It's these niggas out here, man.
Yeah, these gangbanging niggas.
Chicago and Cali and
LA,
here,
LA
man.
niggas, yeah. In the South, that's why I say, like, Martin Luther King, that was the worst thing that ever happened to black people.
Yep.
This nigga said, I had a dream.
That nigga was the worst.
That was a lot.
Black people and white people should hold hands. No. Hold hands with them, for we going to sit in their lines in their restaurants to get our food spat in, man.
I had to deal with.
For what?
And that's what they did, man. They spat in you niggas' food and fed you that shit.
They said, don't tip.
And you sit up there and you eat and spit. Like, man, you niggas, man, you out of your fucking mind, man. Hey, man, you know what, man? I'm kind of glad for the injury that the Lord have given me, because I don't gotta fucking with these restaurants no more, man. Like, you gotta be done with that shit. Even a brother made a video on that. He's like, hey, man, you brothers need to stay the fuck away from the restaurants. Stay the fuck away from that shit, man. Stay away from it, man. Go to the store, buy your own shit, make your own shit like Tyler Bob, man.
Yeah, cook.
Do what that brother doing. Cook your own food, man.
At least you know what it is.
Hey, because just you go to a restaurant, you piss one of these people off, they gonna put a booger in your damn burger, man.
Yep. Or something worse.
Stay the fuck away from that shit, man.
That's why I told my woman.
They throw your meat on the floor and
I
and
told
then
my
they
woman.
put their shit in a burger, man.
I said, stop arguing with people that prepare your food, man.
Yep.
No matter how bad they serve, don't argue with them, man. But you got niggas that argue. Man, I ordered this. You did order that. You did get the real velvet waffle. Let me go back there and get it for you.
Put a little extra green frosting.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Right.
In the tip, don't worry about the tip. Don't worry about it.
I used to work in San Antonio. I used to work at a place called Bill Miller's. It's a barbecue spot. So closing time, people want to get smart. They come through the drive-thru. They had just, you know, dropping chicken when they had to put it, fry it. So the man took the chicken. He was so mad, threw it on the ground, kicked the chicken. It goes up under the trash can with all the drippy stuff from the trash can. Been sitting all night. Pick it up, put it in the batter, and fried it, and gave it to the people. This is why you should never, like the brother said, never talk crazy to people that's cooking your food, because you never know, because they will do some stuff.
Stay the fuck away from the restaurant.
It's crazy, man. I seen it. Like, damn.
Hey, look, you want a burger?
Especially if it ain't Jake back there.
If you want a burger, look, you can go to fucking, you can go to Fry's, you can go to Food City, you can buy some burger meat, right?
Well, you hope it's burger meat.
You can buy some buns and shit. You can buy lettuce. You can buy everything that you eat at a fucking restaurant. You can make yourself.
And it tastes even better.
And it'll be cheaper.
All it takes is niggas
Yep.
are just lazy. They don't want to learn technique so they can get the same quality out of it.
That's
all it is. It's just technique.
Hey, look, man, I'd rather eat a banana than go back to the restaurant. Fuck that, man. I stay the fuck out of the restaurants.
A lot of shit they be putting in the food to keep it preserved too. Like,
And then you don't know what the fuck they're doing because they got when they cooking your food, it's in the back, so you can't see nothing that they doing back there.
You know they ain't washing their hands.
Oh, like they found E. coli in somebody's food because the motherfuckers went to the bathroom,
Peed
and then they wipe their ass. They don't wash their hands, and then they go up in there and they making your food and shit like that, man.
Yep.
And then motherfuckers are getting sick. They wonder why they're getting sick, and then they go to the hospital and find E. coli in your system and say, "Look, we sorry to tell you, but you ate some shit."
Yeah. Literally. Somebody didn't wash their
there's
hands.
been a few accounts too of people finding actual whole ass fingers, man, and nipples in their burgers and their burritos and shit.
Nipple burger.
Nipple burger, man. There's a titty in there. Titty in your burger.
Put a nipple on my, on a restaurant. You put a nipple on.
Yeah. What is this?
Oh, pal, fake pass out. What? Oh,
Oh, Lord.
a nipple. Oh, Lord.
Cheeseburger.
Was this more than that?
Titty burger.
This is look at Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
The Lord said He's going to throw down, and in due time, America will be thrown down. Go ahead.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness. And the
Esau is going to be called the border of weakness. That's right. Go ahead.
It says, and the people against whom Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua hath indignation forever.
Right.
Righteous
The Lord,
anger.
yeah, righteous anger. Because what? Scripture said what? Jacob have I loved,
Esau have I hated.
Right? You got to remember that. You got to know that. Okay? What did King David say to Doeg, man? He said, man, you speak boastfully, but you didn't. This is a man who made wickedness his strength. You're going to amount to nothing, man. Your people is not even prophesied. Your people is prophesied to be wiped off the face of the planet of the earth. And you motherfuckers is proud, but you have to be. Look at the condition you got the world, and you motherfuckers got to go, man.
Yep.
Okay? Brothers, got anything else?
Go to that kennel.
That's it. Hey, so with that, Lord, when it was edifying, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem HaKadosh.
Hey, until next time, Shalom.
Shalom.